As the leader of the Booner Pack, I lead from the front.
All right, boys. Lock in.
It's our core foundation, man. Grit.
I'm fired up. I'm fired the fuck up, boys.
It's pumping right now. It's got my juice pumping, boys.
Welcome to Crunch Time Sports with Jeff and Booner. Today.
Here we go.
Me and Boone holding down the fort. Klotz, holiday obligations. He's out. He's on the injury report. He's out for today. Gentry, Caleb on the injury report. Holiday obligations. They are out today as well. Me and Boone are holding it down. Those guys will be back for Sunday when we're live game day. Hey, Boone. Let's go, Boone. Come on, let's go.
Let's have a show. Why not? Can you hear me pretty well here?
Yeah, you sound great.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure. I went to go grab a pen real quick and tripped over my cord and unplugged everything over here. So.
Oh, no.
Think I'm good. Think I'm back. Those guys are lucky Doc's not here today. I'm just going to say that. I'm just going to throw that out there, Jeff. That's all. I'm just going to.
Doc was making up false rumors about me when I was here.
Yeah, I know.
Guy was allegations. I'm trying to beat the allegation. I don't know what he's doing. Love the Doc, though. But we got a lot to talk about. We got injury report updates. We have a guest joining the show, covers Chicago sports, digital journalist Eli Ong. He joined before Eli, and he's going to give us some more insight to kind of the game, what you expect from the Bears side of things, and how much of a dumpster fire it is, and in his perspective on the Lions as well. We'll get into this or that, kind of go through the game, what we think will happen, and then we have Pick'em in the second hour. So game preview, Pick'em, we got lots to get to here. Chicago Bears, Lions this weekend, and we have the injury updates, which Boone, I don't know where some of this stuff's coming from here. I don't know if I should. You tell me if I should be slightly panicking. All right. So the injury report came out, and Dave Montgomery, not surprised, he's out. Jalen Reeves may have been out. That's fine because he's working his way back, so that's not surprising. Brian Branch, calf, questionable. Graham Glasgow, knee, questionable. And then Iffy Melifonwu, not the end of the world because he's working his way back. I think he'll probably be back next week. Unless maybe he plays. I don't think he does. But Iffy, Jalen Reeves may have been, Dave Montgomery, not surprising. Graham, not as surprising because you've heard news. But I haven't heard too much about Brian Branch this week. It could be questionable.
Yeah, I think it was weird because I think it was at the end of the game last week. I think it might have been like the fourth quarter, tweaked his calf. I don't know if it was like a calf strain or what it was. He's been like, I don't know. It's weird. I think he was limited practice today or yesterday, and he was no practice for a little bit. I would guess, if I had to take any guess, I haven't heard anything. I haven't seen anything. We can ask the doc, and I think the doc would have a similar answer because it's kind of a thing that's in wraps right now. But I would guess he plays. Like, it's just like, hey, rest. Like, we're at that point of the season to where a guy could miss a full week of practice. And it's basically based off of like rest. And I think too, and I could double check real quick because I am interested. Today, limited practice Friday for Brian Branch, limited practice yesterday. So maybe he was just going through walkthroughs. He was making sure he's set with everything and kind of that limited role instead of going full. So I'm sure he ends up playing. And honestly, at the end of the day too, if he doesn't play, I'm not going to stress out a little bit. Like, I know we're missing a lot from the defense, but versus Chicago team, I guess with the weapons they have, there was I saw a tweet that Jamal Adams has been practicing with the DBs. And that popped up on my Twitter today. So that's something interesting to take note of, to where if Branch is out, maybe Jamal Adams gets moved back. But I don't know with this Brian Branch thing. Like, he's probably right now the best player on your defense. So losing him in a game, even Chicago, it's going to be tough. But luckily, it's probably the worst matchup you have the rest of the season. So if if you need to take a week, take the week. But we need you down the stretch. So if there's any chance at all that could make it longer, I'm fine with being like, hey, rest up. Personally, I don't know where you're at with that, Jeff, but that's kind of my thought process on it.
So I'm gonna address some people in the comments here, because Noah says, do we trust Jamal Adams or Brandon Joseph to play safety? And to your point, I was going to bring that up. It was reported that Jamal Adams has been working with the DBs. So I don't know if that's good news or not. I really don't, because he was kind of here to play linebacker. I don't know if you want him playing DB. Maybe he shows more at DB. I don't know, but they need him at this point. Brandon Joseph, he's played snaps this year already with kind of guys going down in games. I think when Brian Branch was ejected from the Packers game. Brandon Joseph came out and played. I'm pretty sure that game.
He was. Brandon Joseph has gotten some run for sure.
Yeah, I'm not as I don't think I'm not as like concerned if Brandon Joseph's out there. I actually think he's a pretty good backup, to be honest with you. He's not Brian Branch, but he's pretty solid. I don't know. I think at this point in the season, obviously any team you face with the injuries on defense, you want your best defensive player. But to your point, looking at the next 3 games, if there's a game to rest players, looking at how bad the Bears look, it's probably this week. So if there's guys that need another week, like a Brian Branch who's banged up, or Iffy, who Dan did say, to Michael's comment here, pretty sure Dan said Iffy wasn't going this week, but I could be wrong.
He said he's probably.
Yeah, you're correct, Michael. He's not going to play. I just from what Dan said, my opinion. So that's probably another reason why you got Jamal working with DBs, because without Branch, they don't have Iffy yet. They're a little thin at safety, so they're going to need some guys there. So I don't think it's the end of the world. Can they beat the Bears without Brian Branch? Yeah. I just think Brian, what he does for this football team, he just does.
Especially with all the injuries you've had the last couple, like you have 15, 13, whatever it is, guys defensively on IR. Yeah. Like you're in a tough spot. It's tough for me to try and like balance like whether I would want a guy to rest or not. Like I do think, and I said it just before, like it is a Chicago game, so it's like you can rest the guy and hopefully still win. But you are in a position with 3 games remaining where you still haven't locked up the NFC North. You haven't locked up the 1 seed. You have 2 teams that with the same record right there. Like you were tied essentially with 2 teams sitting there, fighting for your life for the 1 seed and for the NFC North still. So it's like you don't really have the luxury. And I think Dan knows it, like to like rest a guy. And then if you end up dropping the game because they throw up a bunch of points because they have 3 elite, pass catchers, like, okay, hindsight, you're like, that's tough. We just went to the 5th seed because we just wanted to rest. And like for Brian Branch, it's like, hey, if you can go, like you're at the point of the season where it's like you do have to push through injuries. And I think that's why he was limited the last 2 days. Tuesday, he had the rest day. I think they're just kind of looking. I would, if I had to put my money on it, I would say he plays. He suits up just because of the kind of situation you're in as a team.
Yeah, they can't afford to drop one. I mean, the Eagles play the Commanders. Hopefully they lose, but after that, the Eagles got a pretty cakewalk schedule. So you can't drop a game if you're talking number 1 seed. Even the NFC North, I mean, looking how the Vikings are right now, they got some tough opponents, but at this point, you can't afford to even lose to the Bears. Like you have to take care of who's in front of you. And that's kind of what's important now. Even with the injuries, they're piling up, but hey, at this point, you just want to win by 1 point. I don't even care, honestly. We've said it a couple times. We don't say it every week. Usually we're like, yeah, we think this is going to be a game where they take care of, the opponent. I think they'll cover the spread, but like worst case scenario, if they beat the Bears like they did on Thanksgiving, I honestly do not care at this point in the season. I really don't. I
got to find a way to win.
Yeah, you just got to find a way to win at this point. And the Bears look so bad. And they have a short week next week. They play on Thursday. So they play Sunday versus the Lions, and then they play Thursday against the Seahawks. So they got a short week too. So Bears are in a different spot here. Noah says hopefully that calf injury isn't serious for BB. Russell was out weeks with his calf injury. That's why you have to be. I've seen a lot. And you've been watching sports forever too. I mean, calf injuries are so delicate. Like they can be aggravated and be worse. Like you have to be very careful with calf injuries. I mean, I've seen calf injuries turn into long-term injuries or take longer than people expect. So if he is out, I don't hate it. I won't be upset. Because again, like to kind of Noah's point, you don't want that calf injury to turn into like a multi-week injury. If it's 1 week, rest him, get him back by San Francisco, and then you got him against Minnesota, which could be the division. You don't want that man playing against the Bears and worsening it, and God forbid he's out. You don't need any more.
I would think a good sign though is that he was a limited practice the last 2 days.
That's a good sign.
So he's been on the field. He's been going through some reps. Like he's not going through full practice, obviously, but like it is a sign to where. And he finished out the game, I believe, anyways on Sunday too. So like I think there's like positive signs to it. If it was as bad as maybe we thought, he probably wouldn't have practiced all week. I don't know what. I know Russ was playing in practices and stuff, but he was kind of coming back from that. So I don't know.
Well, here another
point. I do see the point.
Another player that's coming back. I don't know. I think this week you'll see him. We say this every week. Manuel Mosley. Dan complimented him in his press conference today. I broke this down a little earlier, shared my thoughts on it. Here's Dan Campbell talking about Emmanuel Mosley and what he's looked like in practice.
Kind of heading
Good. I feel this is the best week he's had since he's come back from the injury. I just think he looks so much more comfortable. He's moving around well, and it's been really 2 great days for him. Good.
Love to hear
I
that.
see, and people are mixed opinions on this, and I don't blame them. There's people that like, let me see, Shift just said in the chat here, I'll believe it when I see it with Mosley.
It's fair.
Which is, I think, is fair. I talked about it today. There's no doubt the Lions do need depth at DB. They need guys to be able to contribute. I think Emmanuel Mosley, he's shown in his career, despite the injuries, he can give you something. But we've seen this. To be fair, we've seen this play out where every week they kind of tease you, and he doesn't come back yet. So, what do you make of it, Boone?
Listen, all right. There's a couple factors here, fellas.
Is he a ghost? Is he a ghost, or is he real? Is he playing?
No. This man is he is a human being. He is a real man. He can suit up. This is the thing. I think it was Indiana or Indianapolis where he got his first snaps. Special teams hasn't really. He's been a healthy scratch, guys. This is where you are. This is where I'm at with him. He is coming back from a pec injury, a tough injury, right? Slowly working his way back. You have to remember he hasn't played football in years. And Jeff, I know I've argued with you on this a lot, where it's like, hey, like he's going to be just fine. And there is to account, like take that into account. The man hasn't played football in years. So like for him to come back and just be like, boom, it's going to take time for him to kind of get things going again, practice wise, play wise, like in a game. I just think now that the fact that you just saw Carlton Davis go down, and Khalil Dorsey, there is no other choice. He is next man up. So if we're talking about, hey, we'll believe it when we see it, shout out Shift God, you're going to see it. And the Lions have no other choice. You just lost 2 of your corners in your room. Guess who's next up? Emmanuel Mosley. Whether you want to see him on the outside or not, I know Klotz was like he didn't get any outside snaps. That doesn't, like when you get into a position where you lose 2 of your top 5 corners, the snaps you got back in training camp, that has nothing to do nothing to do with what's happening in today's world, especially with the injuries that you're encountering right now on the Detroit Lions defense and then that corner room. So, like, Emmanuel's going to probably have to play nickel. He's going to probably play outside. He's going to play different positions. And you're going to see him this week. Like, I can almost say, like, with no Ennis Rakestraw, no Carlton, Khalil Dorsey out, you are going to see Emmanuel Mosley on the field on Sunday. Like, you will. They have no other choice. No other choice. You have Terrion, you have Kendall Vildor, Emmanuel Mosley, and Amik. Those are your top 4 guys right now. And if you haven't noticed, AG loves to rotate guys. Loves to, like, he's gonna get guys in and out of the game.
And you know what he does? He loves versatility in the secondary. He looks guys that can play multiple positions. So I don't think it's even. I'll say for me, I don't see him playing outside. Who knows what AG thinks? Maybe AG's like, I could, we could throw E-Man a little bit everywhere.
I think you have to. Like, I think at some point you're going to have to. Like, just like.
I see. Spencer says, does anyone remember how bad our defense was last year and how far we made it? Well, hey, that goes into your narrative, Boone. Spencer's on your side there. Bad defense.
Yeah, when you were gone, actually, when you were out sick. I didn't mean to do the air quotes. That's on me. Sorry, it just happened. Arm twitch. But I will say I put up a tweet. I can't remember who it was. It might have been Devoted Detroit or someone put out a tweet comparing the potential defense this year and the defense from last year. It was you and I went with Klotz position group by position group. Even with the injuries now, outside of the edge room, everyone's still an upgrade.
You talked about that Monday, though. You brought that up.
And then I saw the tweet, and when you actually see it on paper and you see it like in person, it's like every position group outside of the edge group is going to be an upgrade from last year. That's what it is. Even like the corners right now, like you're talking about last year, you had
Vildor and
Cam Sutton. I'm taking Terrion. And now you're going to have Emmanuel, Amik Robertson. CJ Gardner-Johnson was not good in the playoffs last year. We all know that. Now you have Kirby, Amik, and Brian Branch. So like it's an upgrade at every position group. So besides the edge, which is a big one, but you could still argue like, you could say this is a better defense still going into the playoffs than what you had going to the NFC Championship game.
Well, let's bring in our guest here to talk more about Chicago Bears. He joined us before, and he was great, man. Eli's the man. You guys can follow him on Twitter at Pen of Eli. He does a great job. Digital journalist covering Chicago sports for WGN News in Chicago. And them Bears, man, it's looking dire over there. I got to get Eli. We talked about it before the year. and we do this too. There's a lot of optimism. Shit goes wrong, and let's get Eli's opinion on it. So please welcome to the show, Eli. I know how to say it now. Eli Young. Eli, what's going on, my man? How are you?
I love it. Can you guys hear me okay? I got my earbuds in right now.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
You sound great, Eli. You sound
Awesome.
great.
Thank you.
Appreciate you joining. I want to pick your brain, number one, on just this game this weekend. You can talk a little bit about how the season's kind of gone for the Bears. Lions are coming off a big loss. Maybe not as much the loss, but the loss of players. All the players they've lost. I mean, they have like 20-plus players on IR. Now they have to pretty much win out, depending on what happens around the NFC, of course, to get that number one seed. What do you make of the game this weekend? The Lions injuries, and maybe how you got one dude running the entire offense, your head coach. What the fuck's going on in Chicago, Eli?
Chicago's a hot mess right now. That's what Chicago is. I would say the only bright light for the team right now is Caleb Williams, and even he's had this roller coaster of a rookie season with all this dysfunction around him. But if we're talking about the game itself and what's coming up, I think when you look at injuries from the Lions, I know they've had a ton to deal with, uncharacteristically so, historically so, I would say even. But one matchup that I think should be at least a little bit concerning for Lions fans when they look at this game is the fact that Only McNeil is not going to be out there. Only McNeil is one of those guys that commands a double team. And I would have to go back and look at the previous Lions game against the Bears on Thanksgiving. I'm pretty sure Detroit's front got pressure 40% of the time, something like that. And on a lot of those pressures, Only McNeil was drawing a double team. So some guy like Muhammad gets a one-on-one and gets to beat his man, gets a sack. The new guy you acquired on the edge. I can't think of his name.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
Zadarius Smith. Zadarius Smith. They got.
Yeah. Thank you.
A lot of new names.
But I think Elaine McNeil is going to be a big player missed up front. And now it's not gloom and doom or anything because the Bears are obviously not anywhere near what they want to be right now, and their offensive line is still a shit show, for lack of a better term. They're also a team that does not get off to a very hot start. I remember I wrote last week at some point, or no, I'm going back before the Minnesota game, where in the first quarter they had been outscored 63-20, which I think the only team worse than them in the NFL at that point before the Minnesota game was I think Dallas, who had been outscored by 50 points differential wise going into that weekend. But they were outscored 10-0 in the first quarter against the Vikings. I don't know how much you guys paid attention to that game, but I don't think it was as close as the score was indicative of. And there's not a lot of glue or cohesion or stuff that makes sense with the Bears going on right now.
Yeah, Eli, I do want to bring this up. I saw a video on Twitter today of DJ Moore. I don't know if you saw it. He basically insinuated he was like, hey, I'm just ready for a vacation, which seems like, especially with the rookie quarterback with Caleb Williams and that number one target, that's whoa, you probably you still have a rookie quarterback that's trying to finish this season out strong. What do you think happens in this offseason? I think actually when you were on last time, I might have brought up the question with these three receivers. What do you think is going to happen with DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Rome? Obviously, Rome's a rookie, so he's on that deal. But the other two guys, are they going to be around next year? Is this something to where, the GM and they kind of take a look and say, hey, we can use these guys to go get different pieces? Or because that seemed like today, that's a crazy thing to say. I feel like with 3 games remaining. What are your thoughts on that?
DJ Moore has been in the spotlight a number of times this season based on his body language on the sideline, some of the comments he made. And, when I look at DJ Moore, he just got that huge extension from the Bears. So I would look at him as a leader in their wide receiver room. And I don't really see leadership quality coming from him right now. I've got a lot of takes on how the Bears use their wide receivers. I think they use them wrong, quite frankly. I think Rome Odunze should be much more of a vertical threat in their offense because he creates separation better than Keenan or DJ do. DJ is he's a yak monster, kind of not in the same vein as Amon-Ra. He's a little bit bigger, a little bit more muscular, and I think Amon-Ra is a little bit more twitchy than DJ. DJ is he's a little bit more brutish. But like he's a guy you get into quick space on screens and like those 5-yard little out routes, and he like creates opportunities on his own. Keenan is like an intermediate like technician. He'll give you great separation on like 10-yard slants or like cut-ins and that type of stuff. But like they've been putting DJ in these like double move situations all year long, where he just looks goofy, for lack of a better term. Like
Yeah.
he has so much trouble getting off his man and like man-on-man coverage or one-on-one. And then you'll have like Rome off to the side, third option on like a curl route or something like that. It never makes any sense. But as for like what they see or like what I see from this like group, this wide receiver room, like this offseason, I think Keenan Allen's in the last year of his deal. I don't know if he's going to be around next year. I wouldn't anticipate him being around. He probably wants to finish out his career in a situation with a much more friendlier passing attack, whatever that may be or where he goes. He hasn't had the greatest season himself, so that's to be determined. DJ and Rome are going to be here for a while because DJ just signed that 4-year extension last offseason, so he's in it for the long haul. So whatever coach they bring in, a lot of conversation in Chicago has always been around like Ben Johnson and to a lesser extent Aaron Glenn. That will be solved once the season's over with. But they're going to have to like come in and kind of like reel DJ back in a little bit because he kind of, I feel like he's checked out a little bit. You know, Deion Sanders, one of football's favorite personalities, uses this term called, I think it's called the back up the moving truck games or something like that, the U-Haul games, or where everyone's ready to pack their stuff up and leave for another setting. And like, that's exactly what came out in that video. So, you know, it's kind of disappointing to see because he's one of those players that hasn't, up until the season, been one to create headlines or talk. He was, especially last year with Justin Fields, all business, one of the better wide receivers in the NFC. And like, it's kind of been a different chapter in his book this year.
Well, speaking, you brought up Ben Johnson, and he just had his press conference the other day, and ironically, a Chicago Bears beat writer drove all the way up to Detroit to ask him a question, and you could tell it's getting to that point where the Lions' season, whether they win the Super Bowl or not, people are going to want to get their hands on Ben Johnson, get him in the building in some capacity. He's going to have tons of teams reaching out to him. Now, I don't know if he wants to depart this year, stay another year. Kind of in your opinion, as someone who kind of covers the Bears, I know Aaron Glenn's going to be a hot commodity too, but knowing kind of assuming where the Bears are going to want to go, what's kind of the Bears, Chicago's perspective on how bad they want a guy like Ben Johnson? Or is there maybe a plethora of targets to where it's like Ben and others? Or is it like, we got to get this guy from the Lions? So where does he rank among head coach candidates, Bears fans and Bears media want?
There was some guy that claimed sources, I forget his name off the top of my head, that there were 4 primary candidates. It was Ben Johnson from Detroit. It was Joe Brady from the Bills. It was Mike Vrabel. And I think the fourth one was Liam Cohen, who is the offensive coordinator for the Bucs. So, like, sources tell me those are the 4 main candidates the Bears are considering, said person that claims to be an NFL insider a couple weeks ago, which are the 4 candidates that would make sense, honestly. Vrabel, like, regardless of who they go with, I think they need someone that is a strong personality at the head of their ship, because when you look at guys like the 2 that they've gotten rid of this year, their offensive coordinator, Shane Waldron, and also Matt Eberflus, they're well put together dudes. They're nice guys. They always say the right things, but there's not really energy or like punch to them. Not like in the sense, well, Thomas Brown has been a pleasant change of character because like or a breath of fresh air, because his first introductory press conference, he stepped up to the mic and was like, wow, all right, this guy's ready to go. No nonsense, all business all the time. But like, even at this point in the season, I don't know how much he's going to get out of the roster, but you know, it all really just comes back to what the McCaskies want to do too. They're an ownership group that's not known for spending money or giving power to the right people. So I think a lot of Bears fans are looking. First option is Ben Johnson, and whatever happens with the Lions, they're hoping that the McCaskies back up the Brinks truck and offer him like, I don't know, 15, 20 million a year or something to pry him away from Detroit. But I think that's the general consensus are those four characters or those four coaches right there.
Yep.
Yeah, Eli, just kind of in the NFC North here, I do want to ask you, just as someone in Chicago covers the Bears, seeing what's going on here in Detroit, I'm sure you get a sense of it too here in Detroit. A lot of Lions fans and people feel like the term that keeps getting thrown around, the sky is falling. Being on the outside and kind of covering in the NFC North, do you still kind of look at this Lions team? I'm interested in this. Like, do you still see them as contenders Super Bowl wise? Because it seems like they've dropped the last 6 days, and national media, obviously other NFC North fans are all saying, hey, it's over. Like, you guys aren't winning the Super Bowl this year. Do you think the Lions can still do it? Just kind of an outside voice here. And we're just looking for an outside voice. Get a feel for this thing.
Voice of reason, Eli. Voice of reason.
Yeah, I got you. Well, like I watched the Buffalo Detroit game last week, and I don't think it was as bad of a loss as people want to paint it as. Obviously, the defense is patchwork at this point, but like the writing on the wall or how you want to play Detroit in order to beat them has been to turn Jared Goff into a drop back passer, make him throw 40 plus times a game, eliminate the run game. And that's exactly what happened. And apart from like a little bit of a slow start where the Bills got out to that 14-0 lead, Jared Goff played fantastic in that situation. Like going into that game, I would have argued, the Lions are a fire-breathing dragon on offense. They're Smaug from like The Hobbit. Like the one chink in their armor can be. I'm stealing this from Benjamin Solak, who is a fantastic NFL content creator. He called the Lions Smaug on offense. I'm like, that makes sense because they're so dangerous all the way around. And the only little chink in their armor is getting Jared Goff off his base and turning him into a drop back passer. He's going to have those turbo pumpkin throws where they turn into wobblers and you can pick them off here and there. But like he threw what? Like 55, 60 passes, and then he ended up throwing 400 some yards and 5 touchdowns, no turnovers. Or he might have had a fumble.
Yeah,
somewhere.
no, he balled. He balled.
Yeah, it was like a prove it game for him in a certain way. Even though they didn't win, like they can put up 42 points doing that too. So like as an opposing like team coming in to play them, you got to be like, shit, man. Like I thought that's how we could beat them, and if they're putting up 42 points, we're gonna have to score 45 against this team, which with the defense is more attainable now that you don't have only McNeil or Hutch or I think Brian Branch was even listed as like questionable going into this game.
Yep.
You got a lot of holes in that defense and a lot of ways you can attack that defense, but like the pressure's still on you to score a lot of points because that offensive unit for Detroit is still cold. In terms of like the NFC playoff picture, I think you get a little bit more and more nervous about Philly. Philly, like Jalen Hurts isn't Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, but he's a dual threat quarterback, and Detroit always struggles because they live and die by man coverage. And when Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson get to roll around for 8 seconds, they're going to unleash a P for 60 yards, and everyone's going to slam their hands on the table like, damn it, like because you're like that close to getting him, but you're never actually getting him, and he's just making these highlight plays. So like the tandem also of like Hurts and Saquon Barkley, who is the best running back in football. And God bless him for leaving New York and going to an actual good football team. And so he can be put on full display for what he is, an absolute android of a human being. That's like dual pressure right there with Hurts and Barkley. And then if they ever get on the same page with their passing game, their outside weapons are really dangerous too with A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. So like there's a lot to be nervous there with, and like with the injuries on the defense, I think Philly has a lot of matchups they can exploit. But if it turns into a shootout, like it can literally just come down to how the ball rolls at one moment in the game. Like that onside kick at the end of the Bills game was a giant pile up at the end, and when you like zoomed in on it, you saw that essentially the ball at the bottom of the pile just like bounced right back into the Bills special teamer, whoever he was, into his like lap. If it rolls towards Jake Bates, you recover it, and then, you get a Hail Mary try right there. So, like, football is very much a game of inches, and anything can go one way or another, but I think the Lions are still a pretty solid Super Bowl contender. I'd still write them in there. It's just Philly is the one team that I think matches up well stylistically with them and could be the more problematic matchup. there's a whole nother conversation to be had about like playing a division opponent a third time too, because beating a team 3 times in a row is tough as well. But that's kind of how I see it.
Yeah, I mean, no, we agree with you. I think the thing too, in the narrative now is like the end of the year when the Lions face off with the Vikings could be for the division. You guys just played the Vikings. What do you make of the Vikings? Because it seems they're well coached. I mean, Kevin O'Connell, Brian Flores, they're doing a fantastic job there. Sam Darnold's having a great year. But what do you make of the Vikings? And do you look at them as a legitimate threat in the NFC? And kind of what do you make of that last game, Lions Vikings? Given you guys have played them twice already, Lions will play them a second time. What do you think of the threat the Vikings pose as a roster? You think it's like more on coaching, kind of uplifting this roster? Or do you think they're a really good team? What's your take on it?
Minnesota, it doesn't have the same amount of elite talent that Detroit has, but you have a coaching staff that has a lot of good players, and Kevin O'Connell and crew really maximize the talent they have. They have an absolute one of one wide receiver in Justin Jefferson, like who you can argue up and down is maybe the best wide receiver in the league, with his ex-LSU teammate Jamar Chase down in Cincinnati. Those two are unstoppable on the outside. But like when you look at like Andrew Van Ginkel, who Brian Flores has turned into the Swiss Army knife explosive weapon on defense that can do, a half dozen different things very efficiently. He carved out that role for him to succeed in. And then you also see, like on the offensive side of the ball, how well Jordan Addison has flourished in the system as a number 2 behind Justin Jefferson. That's a lot of credit to Kevin O'Connell and the scheme that he has, and also being able to develop a quarterback in Sam Darnold that people thought was pretty hot garbage. Like he kind of has, I would say, he had a worse profile coming into Minnesota than Jared Goff had coming into Detroit. Like he was like a journeyman quarterback that was going to bridge to J.J. McCarthy. And it turns out Darnold can ball a little bit. Like he can sling the rock a little bit. So like, I don't think they're like 1A tier necessarily, like the Lions or like the Eagles, but like you got to take them seriously. They're a really well-coached team, and they've got players that can make plays, just not as many, I would say, as a team like Detroit or Philly.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I do want to ask you, Eli, with the game Sunday, I think it's a 6-point spread right now, 6.5. I just would love to get your score prediction, see what you kind of think is going to happen in this matchup here.
See, like, there's a little piece of me that felt like Matt Eberflus really knew how to coach his defense against Detroit, and now that he's gone, I don't know how well the defense is going to handle the Lions.
That's a great point.
There's a little less confidence in there for me from the defensive perspective, because I think Eberflus had some pretty good game plans coming in against Detroit to be able to hold them to so many field goals and stop them in the red zone at X, Y, and Z points in a game, like on Thanksgiving. So, like, 6-point spread, like, you go back to the DJ Moore, like, video and how, he's basically ready for vacation. A lot of this roster's got to be checked out at this point, because not even Thomas Brown and all his juice and enthusiasm has been able to galvanize a great performance out of them yet. So, if you're asking me for, like, a score prediction, since Detroit's defense is still nowhere near even like half as healthy as they want to be, I'll say it's probably going to be like 35-24, something like that, in favor of the Lions. 35-24, 38-27, something like that. Caleb Williams is still going to have like a handful of plays where he unleashes a rocket for a 40-yard gain through like a dinner plate sized window, and everyone's going to be like, wow, like Chicago might have something here. Like, but at the end of the day, his offensive line's going to have like 5 false starts. They're going to have a couple of illegal formations. There's going to be a consequential play at the goal line where one of the linemen get called for a holding on a rushing touchdown, like what happened last week. And they're going to shoot themselves in the foot or find a way to do so at least 2 or 3 different times in crucial situations, because that's just been the MO on the Bears this year. So 35-24, 38-27, Lions get a win. They're coming back hungry. They want to beat the crap out of someone anyways, coming out that off the Bills. And it's the hapless Bears that get to play them. Now, Chicago does have like the advantage of it being like a cold weather game, and Jared Goff will again have to prove that he can play well in shit weather. which he did fine in Green Bay. He proved himself well on that accord. So, but I don't have the most confidence in the Bears right now. I just think it's another out for them. They pad their draft position a little bit, and hopefully they do nothing but spend draft picks and free agency acquisitions on O-line and D-line this offseason.
Yeah, but well said, Eli. Hey, as always, man, you always give great insight, dude.
Kills it.
Great stuff. Appreciate you joining, giving some insight, Eli. Good luck this weekend. And honestly, keep up the great work, my friend. We appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. I always appreciate coming on. I had one of my fraternity brothers from college, the last time I came on, texted me. He watches this. And he's like, "Holy shit, dude! You didn't even fucking tell me you're on here." I was like, "I didn't know you watched," but like,
hey, shut up
at a time. So like, he should be watching this. I might get a text afterwards, and be like, "Hey, yeah, I know this guy, this dumbass white guy named Eli."
That's awesome.
Thank you for having me on, guys. I'll always come on and chop shop over the Bears anytime you want.
Let's go. There you go.
Eli.
Check him out at Pen of Eli. Eli, you're the man, dude. Appreciate you as always. There you go. Eli joining the show, talking with the fellas, dude. Yeah, he's he's just honest, dude. That's why I love you. Just like, hey, man.
Straight up. That's what you like to see.
They're gonna cover that spread, you know.
Yeah.
They're gonna cover that spread. It reminds me now that we have like guys from the NFC North on. Eli was on. We had what's the Packers? Damn it, Dusty Everly joined.
Dusty,
and then we had the Vikings, the Vikings guy. What was his name? Oh, fuck. He joined that one time. He was like,
we've had Peter from the Packers.
Yeah, the Vikings guy wasn't very liked. You know, he wasn't. Sure, he's a great guy, but when he came out, he was talking a lot of smack. Maybe we could get him on again. That would be awesome. Get him on.
Yeah,
again.
week 18. Now, I think that would be great because that's going to end up being a big time matchup. I like how Eli like, and you know what, Dusty was always pretty honest as well. I just like it. Hey, self-awareness.
Yeah,
non-biased. Bears are. Yeah, just how bad the Bears are. What's going on in that locker room. I was interested, and I was really interested, to be honest, to see the whole situation with the DJ Moore. Because when I saw that on Twitter today, I was like, there is no way that a player in the NFL, especially like the first thing I think of instantly, it's like, dude, you have a rookie quarterback who is trying to like actually like get his career going, and you have his star wide receiver that's extended for the next 4 years, 3 weeks left, saying, I want to go on vacation. I can't wait. Like,
yeah, that's wild.
That's the last thing you should be worried about. Like, even when the season ends, like, dude, go talk to Caleb. Go figure out who your head coach is. Like, try and help. Like, you're trying to build an organization. And I think, like, we're so lucky to have some of the guys we have in Detroit, because, like, and Rob would never be like, I just can't wait for a vacation. Like, no, they're like grit. Like, even when they were 3-13, they were like, all we care about is trying to win the next game. And I think that's the difference. And Eli was honest about it. Like, DJ Moore's 4-year extension, supposed to be a captain on this football team, and has not shown a sign of it once. Like, he has not shown a sign of it. And that's worrying. That's very worrying if you're a Bears fan.
Dude, any franchise, if you have one of your highest paid players, like Eli said, supposed to be a leader, checking out, like, yeah, it's a culture issue, which does leave me to believe that I don't even know if Ben Johnson, although I think he will be an excellent head coach, that it doesn't make sense for him. But if I'm the Bears, like, you want a culture guy. Like, you need Mike Vrabel to come in there and like get everyone like straightened out and be like, all right, culture. Like, Ben, if I'm Ben, I'm seeing DJ Moore being like, hey, I'm out, vacation. I'm going to Turks and Caicos. It's like, all right.
That's crazy to me. Like, talk about, you don't even listen. You can want to go on vacation all you want. You don't need to talk about it. Like, you don't need to. 3 weeks. You don't need to say anything. Like, that's the last thing you should be like. How are you feeling? Oh, can't wait to go on vacation. What? Bro, that's what you're thinking about. We didn't even ask you about vacation. We asked you how you're feeling, and the only thing on your mind right now is going to Turks and Caicos. I mean, get it together, man.
Yeah.
Jeez. I don't ever want DJ Moore in Detroit. Never. I don't care how. No. There's these things, Klotz, or I said Klotz, Jeff, but like Klotz tried to go against me and say, oh, I would love Micah Parsons. Again, I stand on that take until I die. I don't want a Micah Parsons in Detroit. I don't. Like, they're just certain, like culture guys and guys with certain mindsets I just do not want. And like, hearing DJ Moore say that, that's like one of those guys where it's like, if he's ever saying that, I don't want to go. What's the I don't want to get in a bar fight with him. I'm going to get in a bar fight. He's going to be like, dude, I can't wait to get home and watch Netflix, man, and walk away. Like,
Yeah,
dude, what?
Yeah, you don't want him on your like your team, and like you don't want him next to you in like the trenches. That's not a guy you want to go to war with. That's not someone. I agree. I thought you said it well when we talked about it. I mean, Dan and Brad have built the team that way, and to kind of what Eli was talking about this game, and we talked about it. We've been talking about the game, but the more closer we're getting to the game, I think the Lions will cover. And we talked about win by a point. I think the Bears, the Thanksgiving game was close in the second half, and that's not the same team mentally. They're checked out, dude. I can see this game. It's not like last year. Last year they played the Lions close and they beat the Lions in Chicago. I don't see it going like that. I mean, number one, they got a rookie quarterback. They have no offensive line. Their weapons are checking out. Their defense, Matt Eberflus took the playbook with them. This game could get a little ugly. I mean, you got a pissed off Lions team. They'll probably score a couple, maybe 2 touchdowns, something in that ballpark. But the Lions are going to put up 30 this week. I mean, they are. They're you
saw. I would say you just saw how Caleb Williams was. I mean, he was hurt, but just on the bench,
oh, he's checked out too. Yeah,
crawling in pain. Even if you're in pain, I've heard a lot of former quarterbacks in the NFL, talk about that. And it's that's the last thing you want to see. Even if you are hurting, the last thing you want to see is your quarterback laying out on the bench, just screaming in pain. That. You do not want to see that, or how tired he is. And that emotion on your quarterback feels like, and you know what a lot of the questions were, and who brought it up was Troy Aikman on the Monday Night Football broadcast, which was crazy to me. He was at some point, you don't want him to lose confidence. You have to bench him. And it's not a bad benching. It's a benching to where it's you have to stop letting this man lose confidence because he's still your franchise quarterback. And when he brought that up, it made sense. And in my mind, it popped up. Imagine Lions play the Bears first time around. Matt Eberflus fired. Second time around, gets them to basically bench the number 1 overall pick. And it's I would not be shocked if that happened because you cannot let him just keep going out there, taking those shots, throwing interceptions, doing what he's doing. The confidence loses. And Jeff, I know you're a Caleb guy, but you even probably have to admit, as a quarterback, you can have a Peyton Manning rookie season, but there is a breaking point at some point. And you still want guys to have confidence, and it's harder to get it back. If you just keep going through that, it's tough. So I'm with you. I think it's going to be I would say a blowout. Do you guys remember that Titans game, that Jags game? I think it's going to be like that. And I don't think the cold's going to affect. We saw in Green Bay, those guys, we saw Jared throwing the ball in Green Bay. It was cold, pouring rain.
He was zipping.
Yeah. So I think they're past the point right now to where that cold's going to really affect them. I think they're going to be prepared for it. And he's played 2 or 3 years now in the NFC North, 4 years in the NFC North. He mentioned it the other day. He's I love to play at Lambeau and I love to play at Soldier Field, historic fields. And he's so he's not fazed by all of that. Not at all.
Yeah, this isn't the California kid. He's been in Detroit for 4 years. Yeah,
it's way past that. Throw the 2 gloves on and get out there.
Yeah, he had the 2 gloves on today. They posted a photo of it. I saw someone ask the weather. I just checked, and the chat chimed in right away. Shout out to the chat. They're right there. Let's see. Patrick said weather report, and Derek said upper 20s, low 30s at game time. And by the way, the wind, I just checked. The wind is expected 12 mile per hour winds. No rain. Just a little cloudy, mostly cloudy, but 31 degrees.
I feel that's a normal day for Chicago.
Yeah,
the wind's nothing. It's 12, but hey, you're on the lake. It's always going to be 12 miles per hour.
Yeah, it's windy, but the thing I look at is it's not going to be raining, wet, snowing. It'll be just a cold game. Yeah, that's really what it is. Which, hey, it is what it is. It could be worse. So it's decent conditions. That favors the Lions offense. I mean, and they got all their weapons besides Montgomery, of course, but Jameer, I think, is going to have that's another guy, I think, this week. I know we tweeted it out on our Twitter, over under. What's his line? 100 and something.
128 or something like that. Yeah, it's a big line, but
yeah, I think Jameer has a big day. A big day on Sunday for sure. Especially
I think Amon-Ra is going to have a nice day. Because I think they're going to these short yardage things, man. I think they're going to really hit that. Laporta, those 3 guys right there. I don't know what people say JMO. I just think Laporta, Jameer, and Amon-Ra moving forward, every week, I'm taking their overs because I feel hey, we're relying on you 3 now.
I think another thing too, when you look at this defense, this Lions defense facing up with this Bears offense, I know the injuries, of course, all that stuff, and Brian Branch is questionable. But the Bears are dealing, to Eli mentioned it, the offensive line issues, dude. They already have a bad offensive line, but I'm checking the injury report. Guys are banged up. Their center, their guard, Tevin Jenkins, guys are banged up on their offensive line. This could be a game where, maybe you get some of that production, like a Zadarius Smith back. You get some of that back. You get DJ Reader wreck the game at Ford Field. Maybe you get DJ Reader wreck. Like, I think it's a good opportunity for this defensive line. El Muhammad, Pat O'Connor, like, get these guys, build their confidence now to where when you do get to Minnesota, they're mentally sharp. Their confidence is at an all-time high. So I think defensively it'll be interesting. I know those cornerbacks are going to have to step up, of course. Can't give up big plays, especially if there's no Brian Branch. But that's where Kirby comes into play. Like, Kirby's got to be flying around making some plays. Like, maybe we even see a little Broderick, Jay-Z. I don't know.
I think those guys, like those, not secondary, I'm talking like the backups for the defensive line, Levi O, Josh Pascal, Broderick Martin, Al Mohammed, those guys, listen, like you just said, Jeff, the confidence, you're going to get reps. These are the game this week. And then when you get to the 49ers game, these 2 weeks are weeks for you to kind of build and get momentum heading into the playoffs. I do think, like, Levi O, he had such a good start of the year. Yep. Yeah. And when Levi O got going and then he slowed down a little bit recently, all right, let's get Levi O going again, because you're going to need him down the stretch. Josh Pascal, he sets the edge really well, but hey, he has struggled the last few weeks. Broderick Martin, like, you're finally going to start being able to see more of him because of the Aleem injury. I see what you're looking at there. We don't need to pull up comments. I saw the little grin. Yeah, you got to get that one time. So, like, those guys, like, yeah, you have to, like, slowly figure this thing out with some of these guys. Like Al Mohammed, we saw what he could do. Get the man some more confidence. Like, just how, like, a couple years ago with James Houston, like, we need him to, like, that was like, people were saying, oh, he's like James Houston a couple years ago. Get that man more sacks and let him get out there and make plays. Like Trevor Nowatzki, let him get at the quarterback. Let some of these guys get going a little bit. Pat O'Connor. Like, I think it's, like, not really this DJ Readers at Zadarius Smith. Like, I feel like they're going to dominate in games like this anyways. But these, like, guys that it's like, we now have to rely on these guys. Let's get these guys going. Get
Especially a good opportunity for Terran Arnold. They're going to depend on him this week.
Oh my gosh. In the cold too. Have you seen his videos in the cold?
Yeah. Him, like, adjusting to being in the cold and everything.
I don't know if he's adjusting. He's just like, I hate the cold.
Yeah, he just hates it.
Which is tough because it's a big week in the cold. So we need him to.
Yeah. He's going to be guarding some good receivers. I mean, he'll probably be on DJ Moore. That's probably will be his matchup. So it'll be it'll be a matchup here, but this is why you have Kirby. I think Kirby had a dropped pick against Caleb. If I'm not, like, this is an opportunity for Kirby to get back in the interception column a little bit. Let's get
or Brian Branch, one of these guys. Like, need to.
Gotta get turnovers, man. Well, speaking of turnovers, all these keys, Boone. Let's hear. I'm curious what you got this week. Keys to victory, Lions, Bears. What do you got cooking up, Boone? Talk to me here. Let me hold on one second. I'd be remiss if I didn't get some.
I do want to bring up the first college football playoff game is going right now. The first one we've ever seen, or like the 12-team one. Unbelievable. It's so good being able to have teams playing at home. Like Notre Dame hosting a college football playoff game versus Indiana. Yeah. Dude, the crowd is crazy. They broke off for like an 80-yard touchdown run, and the crowd's going nuts. Like, it's one of the coolest things ever, I think. I took Indiana money line too, by the way, and it's not looking great right now.
No, damn. Tough. All right, talk to me, Boone. What do we got?
All right, let's go over these keys to victory. So I did something a little different, because obviously this game, the Bears game, it feels like this is going to be a little bit. I don't want to, like, jinx it, knock on wood, but it does feel like it's going to be a game where the Lions, coming off a loss, they're going to hopefully dominate and win the game. So I did the keys to victory, but I did them for the Detroit Lions to go on and win a Super Bowl. Turn this thing around. This week has all been just basically talking about, are the Detroit Lions contenders still, Jeff? Can they win the NFC North? Can they get the 1 seed? What are they going to look like after all these injury losses? Well, now these keys to victories, it also has to do with Chicago. Yes, you could take all of these into Chicago. This is what you have to do the last 3 weeks and into the playoffs, I think, Jeff, to go win a Super Bowl, and it starts with Sunday versus the Chicago Bears.
So big picture keys.
It's big picture, but also guess what? It starts on Sunday. These 3 keys, you have to start doing these 3 things this Sunday versus Chicago Bears, and you have to carry on all the way until you get to the Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl. The very first one, I think this is the most important one of the whole year. Jeff, we've had this conversation plenty of times. Yep. And we saw it last year when the Lions started to go on this run a little bit. One thing that they switched up and they started changing and made an emphasis on defense. And AG said in the rooms, meetings, they talked about, hey, we need to create turnovers. We need to create turnovers. If we don't have the best defense in the NFL, which last year it was very known that they didn't, you have to find ways to get stops and get your offense extra possessions. And starting Sunday, you have to get back to doing that because you haven't done it for a few weeks. Create turnovers, win the battle, and get the offense extra possessions, Jeff. I think that's one of the most important things that you're going to have to do to kind of go win a Super Bowl. Like if you want to still be contender or considered a contender, you have to do this. Like this is number one, 1A. Like this has to get done. And I'm confident, like Brian Branch, Kirby, I'm confident in them. It's really going to come down to getting to the quarterback and making the quarterback make bad decisions, throw the ball in bad spots. Like that's what it's going to come down to. Number two, I honestly, I'll be honest with you, Jeff, here real quick.
Talk to me. What's wrong?
I think all three of these are like 1A, 1B, 1C. I think the rest of the year, these are three things. It's like, if you don't do one of these things, you're done. You're done. And you'll see why. Number two, you have to win the battle in the trenches. I wanted to say, hey, get your run game going. But at the same time, it's, hey, the defensive line has to get going too. You have to be able to stop the run, not just run the ball on teams. You have to be able to step up and stop the run. You saw what James Cook did on the Detroit Lions. You have to be able to limit that. You have to. And I know throughout the year that was the first 100-yard rusher, essentially, they've given up all year. But you can't let that be you can't let that be a thing going forward. So I think winning the battle in the trenches, they built this football team, Jeff, out starting with the offensive line. How that offensive line plays dictates how this offense plays. It's just a fact. Like your run game gets going, your offense gets going. The play action gets going. Jared Goff gets going. Amon-Ra then gets going. Sam Laporta, J-Mo. It dictates everything. And if you want to go win a Super Bowl, you have to start winning the battles in the trenches again. These are things, guys, and these are things that this Lions team have been built off of. But over the last few weeks, they haven't been great at it. They have not been getting turnovers over the last 2 or 3 weeks. They have not been dominating in the trenches the last few weeks. They just have not. And it's like, these are the things this is your identity. And you're not good at your identity, Jeff. You're probably not winning football games. And the last one here, this isn't really one of the kind of like the first two, but this is what the Lions did last year and started becoming a defense that was a little bit competent, and they were able to put things together to be able to go on the run that they did. And with the injuries that you have now, Jeff Iafrate, as much as we don't want to go back to this,
I have no choice.
It's time to go back to it.
Yep.
But it's time for the Detroit Lions to say, hey, we will bend, but one thing we're not going to do is, Jeff, hey, we are not breaking.
Nope.
We are not breaking. This defense will not break. I think they are a top 5 team currently. And you know what? As I'm talking here, I'm going to go find it. But I think right now they are a top 5 team in red zone defense. And you have to stick to that. You have to make sure, hey, when they get in the red zone, a team's not going to dominate us. I'm bringing it up right now. Third down, and this is what I love too. Third down defense, first in the NFL, Jeff.
That's big.
Teams are converting in the NFL right now 32% of the time versus the Detroit Lions. First in the NFL. Red zone efficiency, they're 8th in the NFL. So you have to find a way to keep that in the top 10. You cannot break. This is going to be one of the biggest things. I think creating turnovers and finding a way to not break, forcing field goals, forcing fourth down conversions, and stopping those in the red zone, I think is going to be the biggest tell if they end up winning the Super Bowl. If they don't do this and they just points, touchdowns, it's over. It's over. Your offense can only stick up to a certain point. Dan Campbell said it his best or the best. I don't care if we give up 700 yards in a game as long as we score one more point than the other team. And that's what this bend don't break is. It's, hey, we're going to give up a lot of yards. We're going to give up a bunch of yards. But we're not going to allow you to get those touchdowns. You're going to kick field goals and you're going to turn the ball over. Those are the two main things when it comes to bend don't break. And I think AG knows that and his Lions defense knows that. Those are kind of my keys right there to win the Super Bowl. And again, it all starts with Sunday versus Chicago Bears, Jeff. Like, you have to be able to do all these three things. My tongue is just in a knot over here right now. But you have to be able to do those things to be able to go win the Super Bowl. And I think, hey, Figure out ways to get turnovers and start that this week. Get the trenches back going. And bend, don't break. Don't give up points. I would love to see the Detroit Lions on Sunday hold the Chicago Bears under 17 points on Sunday.
That'd be a
prove a point.
And I think they can do it. I love the keys. I think you nailed all three of them. I think this is for, like you said, the future. Like if you're going to make a playoff run of any sort, like you did last year, although you're missing key pieces and it's going to be tougher. Yeah. These are the keys. Like I agree with every one of these, and I actually emphasize the second one by like a large margin because especially the Bills game. And I'm not saying that is going to dictate what the rest of the season looks like, but what we saw in that game was they got out physical. They got moved off the ball. It's something we just don't see, even when they do have injuries. That is kind of the culture on defense. No matter who's playing, they got bullied. Like
yes, all game
line, defensive line. Yeah, that cannot happen. And you have a defense in with the Chicago Bears. Like they're not a pushover. But offense, yeah, I think you're gonna have your way and have opportunities. But that defense against this offense, especially, and moving forward, I mean, when you get into the playoffs and you're playing the Eagles, like you can't be pushed around on both sides of the ball. Like that just can't happen. It's one of the biggest keys, I think. And then the bend don't break thing, that's just the reality. You know how I feel about it. I don't love it, but you don't have a choice. You have to bend, don't break. Yeah. That's where they are. And that's actually what I believe will happen in this Bears game. And I didn't add this before, but I'll mention it now. I think the Bears are going to have some yards. One thing I don't think they'll do, and one thing I do think the Lions will get back to, is stopping the run. I think DeAndre Swift, and we got a segment coming up where we'll kind of predict different stats and stuff like that of how the game's going to play out. But I think DeAndre Swift this week, that's one thing. You got to bottle him up. You got to bottle him up in the run game. You got to get back to holding running backs to their under, not over, like James Cook and Josh Jacobs, although the yards per carry were actually pretty good. But you can't allow guys to get 100 yards on you, man, especially if it's, all due respect, James Cook or DeAndre Swift, or Aaron Jones. Like they got to get back to what their identity is, and that's stopping the run. Aaron Glenn mentioned that. So
hey, those three things, the thing there, like if you watch the Buffalo Bills game, you can't tell me one of those three things the Lions were good at. And if you told me, hey, what are and if I said at the beginning of the year or in the offseason, what are the top three things the Detroit Lions are good at? What would we say coming out of last year? You would say the trenches, winning the battle in the trenches. That's why they're always so good, as winning the battle in the trenches. 2, they create a ton of turnovers. And 3, last year they were very, very good at bending and not breaking, and they weren't giving up touchdowns in the red zone. And that was like very, very well known. And in the Bills game, guess what they didn't do? They didn't do one of those things. Not one. Not one of those things were good. And if you do one of those things, Jeff, if you win the battle in the trenches in that game, if you just create a couple turnovers in that game, or if you just go out there and you don't break 1 or 2 more times in that game, you beat them. You win. So you have to find what your identity is, which is those 3 things. That is what this Detroit Lions team has been built on. And you have to find a way to get those back, even with the injuries, because once you get those back and you emphasize those things, I think this Lions team is going to be really good. Like, I think they're going to be just fine. But it's like, hey, you have to get back to that because, like, you built this team off the trenches, and you have not been winning in the trenches the last few weeks.
Yeah, we have some comments here. Jay-Z said the plan is always stop the run, win the run game, force quarterback to pass into mistakes, win the turnover battle.
That's what this team's built off of.
Yeah, they are. And even Jay-Z says secondary needs to get back to their intercepting ways of early season, which you brought up there, and it's a true point. PK says Broderick is a beast. He just had a Leam in front of him. You guys are going to see him unleashed this week. I don't know if Broderick, he's more of like a nose tackle though. Like I could see them playing more Levi there. I think to your point, like Levi could have a big run. I don't know if they'll put Broderick and DJ maybe in the red zone, maybe to prevent teams from like rushing on him or running on him. I don't know. I don't know if Broderick, they'll put him at kind of what Aleem was playing. I think he's more of a nose tackle, but I don't know. Could be wrong. Maybe AG plays him and DJ together. I could be wrong on that. Ubaldo says Gibbs over 100 rushing and 50 receiving. That's actually the other thing. You mentioned stopping the run and winning the battle in the trenches. We didn't even the offense. We got to get back to running the football here effectively. Like we got to get back to moving guys,
setting the tone.
Like there's nothing more demasculating in football when an offensive line or defensive line is just moving you off the ball. And that's what they have to do. Like Craig Reynolds, maybe a little Vaki, Jamar, Help out Jameer. We got to get this offensive line just moving, dudes. Like creating huge gaps for Jahmyr Gibbs just to soar through. Like let's make it a little easier on these running backs, dude. Like you got a healthy offensive line. I know guys are hurt, but everyone's hurt in the NFL for the most part. Everyone's banged up. So I want to see that run game get explosive. I want to see some big run plays from Jahmyr this Sunday. I want to see some 30-yard gains. Hell, maybe even a home run hit from Jahmyr. But
oh my gosh, we haven't seen that in a little while.
We got to get back to that. I know last year it was like every other game you're getting home run hitters. I mean, you're getting David against the Chargers 70, 80-yard run. Oh, Jahmyr 80-yard run. Boom, boom, home run hitters every other game. And now it's like the last couple of games they've just struggled getting back to that. So and it makes sense. I mean, Graham's on the injury report, so we got our news. I mean, he's probably been dealing with shit. I know.
I don't think I think maybe limited practice today.
They said they might have Christian Mahogany play if he doesn't play. He's ready to go. Him and Yodi,
yeah,
ready to go. Those two.
Christian Mahogany was in the game a couple weeks ago. Someone went down and he stepped. Yep. I think Zeitler went down for like 1 or 2 snaps, and Mahogany stepped in. And that was I don't think people realize, by the way, too. Christian Mahogany is a rookie, missing all of training camp. He was one of those guys that you got to steal in when you drafted him, and he kept falling. And they were like, "Why'd he fall?" Oh, one of his legs is shorter than the other. Okay, can he play football?
Yeah. What?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he can play football. He was like a long-time starter, like a bit like.
That's like a wild excuse.
So he drops because of that. He doesn't practice, and when he gets drafted, it was like, hey, this could be a day one starter in the NFL on a certain team. Doesn't practice all training camp, comes like a couple weeks into the season off having mono, and all of a sudden you're starting to see him getting backup guard snaps, and you're like there's a potential he plays this week if Graham's down. Like I think that's like very, very quiet. Like I know Kevin Zeitler's playing at an all-pro level. Like he might be an all-pro guard. If they don't bring him back, you're saying, okay, we must have a lot of faith in Christian Mahogany next year.
It's good news.
That's great. We haven't had an offensive lineman in a year or two like that's developed to be able to be like, hey, he could step in. We just haven't. Like our backups, we were like, what's going on with guys? Colby, where's Colby been? Christian Mahogany stepped in right away and was like, hey, that's my spot. Sorry, buddy, move over.
Yeah, a rookie.
That's cool. Yeah. And he's in year 2 right now, and he was getting snaps, and now all of a sudden Christian Mahogany, no training camp, and steps in and says, "Hey, move over, Colby. This is my job.
It's my team. All right."
I love that. That means I think we have a starting guard on our hand that's going to be really good in the NFL. Like I think Christian Mahogany is going to be the next man up. He's going to be the next starter on this line.
It's a little easier too for a young guard to fit in with a good offensive line than like throwing out a rookie tackle or something like that. Like he can, if he's working next to like Decker and Frank Ragnow, like he can kind of.
Is this you trying to save yourself for Giovanni? Like you're better than.
I mean, I would. Yeah,
I give him more time.
Hey, they don't. Maybe next year.
No, I'm not going at you. I'm just saying. It felt like you were like. We weren't even talking tackles, and you're like, well, it's easier for a rookie to come in as a guard than it's at. I know what you're setting up there. I get it.
Yeah, I'm setting up for my my Giovanni Manu narrative, which still lives on, by the way. Next year, never know. Maybe he has to step up, and they're like, hey, we got Giovanni ready, 6'8", 350, no gut, ready to step in and move.
Dude said no gut.
No gut at all. Yeah, he's kind of been, that's tough. Big man, though.
Giovanni.
There was talks that he might play guard. That's out the window. I mean, I don't think he's ever playing guard. He's probably.
If I say Luigi on here, are we going to get flagged?
I mean, as long as you don't say like anything after that involving Luigi, but you just say Luigi, you should be fine. It's like Mario, Luigi. They don't know what you're talking about.
What was the guy when he was like coming out of the jail there? The guy was like yelling out like, "It's me, Mario, Luigi."
Yeah, it's fucked up.
And they're like yelling at him while he's like walking out.
Do you see the photo of him, like with all the like cops around him?
Oh, the video, like, dude, it's like it's literally like a movie. It's like feels like it's made up.
Like, is that necessary? Like, I know the dude he's a criminal, like, but there's like 30 cops, the mayor, like.
I know we're getting off topic here. It always interests me that like there are murders every day in the world, to where it's like, how do people just like pick this one and be like, this is the one we're gonna blast out in the news forever? I know there was like the medical world and all of that.
Yeah, that's why the narrative.
But it's just like, I'm sure like stuff like that happens in all industries. Like there's deaths and murders constantly in big industries. And it's like this one, all of a sudden, Yeah, this is an Italian show,
It's
so
not Roman. Oh yeah.
Luigi.
Yeah, they're just throwing Luigi out there randomly. Oh god,
Giovanni reminded me of it. That's on me.
yeah, Giovanni, Manu. Yeah, I mean, it's just how do we transition from this? I mean, I'm just being honest. How do we transition from this? What are we doing here? By the way, shout out Ryan Gibson. Hit the like button. Only 31 likes on the stream, man. Let's get it. A shout out to Eli's fraternity brother watching the show, man. I don't know what your name is, but
yeah, if he's that was so random.
You,
I thought maybe he put something in the comments, but yeah, no. Shout out to Eli, and I think Eli, and I should have brought it up. I think he went to Grand Valley. I could be wrong.
He did.
Go Cards, then, baby.
That's like a rival.
It is the Battle of the Valleys, Grand Valley, Saginaw Valley. You never heard of that?
I mean, I didn't go. I didn't.
It's like a Michigan thing, though. The Valleys.
Hey, and so you were in
like
that.
It's like Michigan,
that rivalry.
Yeah, it's like Michigan State. Yeah, I beat Grand Valley a couple times in my day.
He's got Matthew Judon. I mean,
I think I beat Grand Valley in the NCAA tournament my freshman year. I'm pretty sure.
Coach Boone.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. It might have been them. Beat Ferrets in the tourney.
It's impressive. I mean, that's
and then the next year they went on to win a national championship. And we were like, oh, well, tough one. We lost in the Elite Eight.
Jay-Z said, Iffy and Germ started their clocks. Should they play Sunday? I would say no on both.
No. I think Germ might be a little longer. Iffy probably next week. Germ, it sounded like today that they were like taking longer with Germ. Like, we're going to take our time with him. I don't know why it sounded a little different, but it just did to me. I don't know
what happened. I forgot what his injury even was. What did Germ suffer?
I think it might have been like a knee injury. I can look it up.
I don't. That's the one thing I can't remember what it was with Germ. Because it feels like he's been out forever, but it's only been like 4 games, maybe 5 games.
Neck injury. Neck injury.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, that's why
it was a neck. Sorry, I don't know why I thought knee always just seems like a knee.
It's easy. Yeah, it's just how it is. Knee injury. Neck injury, that's way more serious. I forgot the game he was injured in, but yeah, it'll be good to have Jerem back for sure. If he as well, they'll probably say those are guys you want back closer to that Vikings game. So Jay-Z, to kind of your comment, I don't think they play this week given who they're playing. You know, the Lions can beat the Bears without those players. They can. I think their offense can single-handedly win this game. Honestly, I know it's the NFL. Every game's close. I get that, but. Like me and Boone could be out there at linebacker. I think they could still take care of the Bears. I'm serious.
The only thing, and I've been pretty consistent all week on this with guys coming back. I would just let some guys the next week if they're going to go, like Germ. Iffy. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else that might start their clock soon. I just would like guys to be back in the rhythm and back into things.
Rakestraw is coming up.
Rakestraw. I would like guys to get back. I don't want some of these guys' first games to be like, boom, playoff game. That's just where I'm at. No, I know certain guys like Anzo, I think could be able to handle that. I think certain guys would be fine to do it, but there are like guys where it's like I would love, like I was telling Klotz with the Demont thing, like I would like Demont to rest, yes, but like say like the healing is where it's going to be, and it's like not going to get more healed up. Like if he's going to have to play on it injured and like get a couple reps in that Vikings game to know what it feels like to play on it, know what it feels like with the brace, and like. That's just where I'm at with it, though. Maybe I'm just in the minority on that one.
Hey, speaking of being in the minority on things, I think Damon Dice, he might be in the minority saying the Bears can beat the Lions.
Oh, he's a Bears fan, right?
Hey, Damon, by the way, we love you. Hey, appreciate you tuning in, Damon. You're a dog for that. But I got to tell you, Damon, and I got to ask you, all serious. Like, let's put the fan bases aside. We cover the Lions. You love the Bears. Just put it aside. Give me the path, Damon. Give me the path. Like, seriously, lay out the path how the Bears can beat the Lions. And I don't know. It would have to be Jared just forgets to get on the flight or I don't know. The Bears, how they look right now with everyone hurt, everyone complaining, everyone checked out. You got one dude coaching 4 different positions and doing 5-6 different things. How the hell can the Bears legitimately beat the Lions this weekend, coming off a loss? I just don't see the path. With
all the problems in the building going on, the DJ Moore today, Demond, your number one weapon, saying, I just want to get to vacation, man. Get me to Turks and Caicos. Let me get to Panama. Get me somewhere. Get me out of here. I want to go to France. I want to go see the Eiffel Tower.
Let's travel. Let's travel the world.
I'm tired of being in Chicago. I'm tired of playing football right now. Just give me a couple weeks off. I want to go to Australia. I want to go see the Great Barrier Reef. Like, let me go see something, man.
Great Barrier Reef. This is coming from a guy, by the way, who when they played on Thanksgiving, Boone, what did I say on the show? I thought it'd be a close game. I was like, hey, I think the Bears now, like Friday, December 20th, they'll play the 22nd. Hell no. It's a different team. Hey, week to week league, everything changes.
I think DeMond's gone. I think we got him. He's gone. He hasn't responded.
He said, fuck this, I'm out. You know.
Yeah, he's like, oh, these guys are right. I get it.
No, but that's I just don't see it. But if the Lions lose, it would be one of the biggest upsets of the year. I mean, I'm serious. It would be one of the craziest games. I don't know. You got to.
I want to. Okay, Jeff. I wouldn't say the biggest up. There's like a 14-point favorite this week. We were like a 15-point favorite.
I should say with the urgency the Lions have.
I think when you take things into context, like Lions haven't lost back-to-back weeks since like 22.
It would feel like a humongous upset to me.
Yeah.
It would feel like I would be like, wow. I would have no words.
I'll tell you what. I've never been nervous for I've been nervous for some games, but like I've been nervous all week. And it's not because I think the Lions are going to lose. It's just coming off a loss and the injuries. To me, it's just like, I want this Lions team to get back in the win column so bad. Like, I feel like it's needed. You need like a confidence booster and to get back into that. Like,
Dan Campbell hasn't lost back-to-back in like
since 2022, since that 3-13 year, I think.
Yeah.
Or no, the one when they started 1-6.
1-6, yep. And then they went 8-2, and they didn't lose back-to-backs in that year, and then they didn't lose back-to-backs last year.
Yeah. They dominated after coming off. No, they did not. They did not.
Yeah,
it's since 2023, I think.
There it is. Jay-Z, appreciate it. October 2023. Shout out to you.
That's crazy. That is crazy. Over 2 years.
I don't want to say it anymore. I don't want to jinx it, but like that to me is proof of a good culture, good coaching staff. Like, it doesn't.
Yeah, dude. So I think I said this while you were out. Like, I don't want to say it was like, again, I don't like the loss and losing to the Bills, and I just think like if you were gonna win, like if you won that game with the injuries, the urgency, like guys aren't as like what's the word I'm looking for, like motivated, like they're like, oh, we're just gonna keep winning. But the fact that they lost that Bills game and the injuries, like these guys are even more motivated to be like, we have to figure this thing out. So I think it's like, it was like, look at it, it might be like a good thing that like the way it's happened, like with the injuries and the loss at the same time, being like, okay, like we need guys to step in, we need to like this chip on our shoulder. Like, you guys know Dan Campbell off losses. They said he walks in the building and he's on 100 instantly, and he's like ready to go. Like, you don't see that.
Yep.
Yeah, extra large dip in than usual. He's got 3 coffees instead of 2. I mean, he's like, here we go, boys. Like, I love being in the deep waters.
yeah. He'll play in a landfill. I mean, the guy's one ass cheek and 3 toes, whatever. The guy is he's just built different. And by the way, appreciate the correction there, Jay-Z. It's all good, man. He said October 2022, so it's even a year
22?
prior.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. I see Demond says Jeff, Soldier Field going to be live. Bears have been on the road 3 straight games. Hey,
nothing's going to be. The only thing that's going to be alive is the Lions' offense. There's nothing going to be alive about.
Well, Demond, and shout out to Nate, by the way. Listens to the show. He's one of our good friends, man. He's the man. He
scared me today, by the way. Freaked me out.
Yeah, they sent that text. He works out in Chicago, lives out there. Obviously from Michigan native. And he says, man, he talks about the life down there, like the Lions fans. There's like bars where it's Detroit sports bars.
Yeah.
You know any Chicago bars out here? I don't know a single fucking one.
I will say this, Jeff, and I don't mean to shoot you down with this one. In Chicago and New York, there are bars for specific cities and teams. Like, there's a Michigan bar.
We don't got to do that.
Sorry, that's on me. Like, when I went to New York, there was there's like a Lions bar or a Michigan bar in New York.
Ruins the narrative, though.
That's on me. You know what? It sounds way rewind. Quick rewind. Let's act like I didn't do that. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead. Say that again.
Anyway, Lions. I mean, Michigan fans.
Say it again. No. Hey, run it back. Go
ahead. There's a bar that Nate goes to out there, crowded with Lions fans. It doesn't happen in any other city. It's only that thing. It's rare. Only Lions fans. So, we rent free.
Killed it, dude. That's crazy. That's insane.
Yep.
Like, where else is that going to happen?
Not a single city.
A full Lions bar just in Chicago.
Yep.
They might take over Soldier Field, to be honest. Lions fans are going to take Soldier Field over.
Yeah, might be. Hey, might be a lot of blue out there, honestly.
Yeah, there is that's one thing that we're not talking about, especially, okay, I'll say it. Actually, no, I'm not going to say it. I don't want to say it.
What? You can't do that. What were you about to say? Now I want
I
to
was
know.
just going to say, like, if the Lions don't get the 1 seed and they have to be on the road the whole playoffs, then, like, Lions fans travel. Like, they travel.
Oh, yeah, you can say that.
Instantly,
Yeah.
Lions fans are going to be like, we're going. And so, like, that's where I'm like, oh, wow. It just popped in my head. I've been the one that's saying they're going to get the 1 seed. Just popped in my head, though. I was like, if they are on the road, like, Lions fans travel. That has not been talked about. Like, they travel.
Jay-Z says, if you're ever in Denver, Candlelight Tavern is a Rocky Mountains Lions den. See, there's like
another city.
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
in Denver. I heard there's one in LA too. I heard there's one in San Francisco. I hear there's a lot of Lions bars.
Might be one in Philly. I mean,
there probably is. That's the thing. Detroit might be one of the cities, one of the only bigger cities. Well, I guess these cities are a little bigger, but we don't have any like other city bars, I don't think. But other cities do that.
Yeah, I mean, Derek says Candlelight Tavern's Denver's #1 dive bar and best Detroit Lions bar. Like, come on, guys. Hey, that's the fan base. You're right, though. If they play, let's say hypothetically, worst case scenario, they have to play in Philly. There's gonna be Lions fans there. All right, there's probably a lot of problems. You're gonna have to up the security a little bit. Philly fans are crazy. They're absolutely crazy, and Detroit fans are gonna be going in enemy territory. But they'll be there. They'll be there. Okay. They'll be there. I've seen some crazy shit happen in Philly, so I good luck to anyone who's going over there. But there'll be a lot of Lions fans, even in Philly, anywhere the Lions play. There'll be a ton of Lions fans. Derek says, "Bet there isn't a Lions bar in Green Bay." Jeff,
that's true. Green Bay is probably the smallest NFL city as well.
I don't think there might be one bar in Green Bay.
I think the city you live in, Jeff, is bigger than Green Bay.
I mean, it's probably fair. Yeah, it's community owned. It's community owned franchise.
I mean, dude,
they're better run than the Jets.
They ride bikes in practice, like.
Yeah, they get on those like the ATVs and they travel around the stadium.
I saw a picture today of one of the Packers players. There was a snowstorm, and he was in his full pads on a biking to practice in the snowstorm. It's just like, that's crazy.
Yeah, like what?
I mean, Amon-Ra's brother said that when he was in Green Bay, they have to like travel from their training facility to their practice field, and he was like, we drive over there. So he was like, I'm in the locker room, fully padded up, ready for practice. And you know how the Lions, they just walk out of the locker room to their practice field, indoor or outdoor. Packers players have to get in their cars in full pads and cleats, drive over to the practice field, practice, hop back in their cars in full pads, drive back to the locker room in the training facility. Like, that's crazy. That should never be a thing. That's nuts, dude.
For a franchise, yeah, that's tough. All right, let's get in. Hey, let's get into
that in high school. I used to have to drive in the car and fully padded to practice.
Throwback. For a franchise like Green Bay, it's like some stuff you just like, can we just fix this? Can we some way we get this handled? Shout out to the Lions, great organization. Can't believe I'm saying that, but it's real now. Let's get into this or that. We almost did it yesterday. We do it today. It's more fitting. It's way better. We'll get into different storylines. I'll give you 2 scenarios.
Okay.
2 players that play the same position, and I'll ask you who ends with better production, and it's this or that. Chat, play along. Tell me who you think will have the better game between these 2 players. Let me fire up this real quick, and then we'll get into it. All right, so for the first one. Oh, there you go. Am I good? Am I hearing me clear? Am I good?
I can hear you, yeah.
All right. First one. I have quarterbacks.
Oh, my gosh.
This is where it gets tricky. You got a Lions defense, a little banged up. You got Jared Goff playing well. It's outdoors. Here's the tricky part, though. I'm going Caleb Williams passing yards and rushing. Or Jared Goff passing yards.
Can I get Jared Goff rushing in that too?
Throw it in. Fine. We could throw that in there too.
Oh, it's 2 or 3 yards, I just would like to get a couple.
Yeah, just a little sprinkle. Passing and rushing. Who ends of the day with more yards? Jared Goff, Caleb Williams.
So the last time Caleb Williams played the Detroit Lions, he had 200. What would it be? 290. He basically had 290, almost 300 total yards. And Jared Goff, let me see what Jared Goff had real quick. This is interesting, Jeff. This is a good one. This is a brain tweet teaser or whatever they call it.
Yep.
Jared Goff had 221 last time. I'm going to go, and I'm going to be completely honest. Caleb Williams hasn't cracked 200 all-purpose yards in the last 2 weeks. And I think back at home, Damon Dice, they've been on the road 3 times. Caleb Williams with the wind in the cold, USC guy, Southern Cal guy, SoCal. If they haven't been, Jeff, if they haven't been back in Chicago in 3 weeks, they haven't been in there in December since the colds really hit. Like, it's been cold. But, hey, you're in December. I mean, if it gets cold enough and start a little precipitation, you're going to see some snow.
Precipitation, yeah.
You're going to see some snow. Caleb will, SoCal guy. Never seen the snow in his life, I'm sure.
Nope.
Give me Jared Goff in that one. Jared Goff has seen it. Hey, give me 2-glove Goff on Sunday. 2-glove Goff on Sunday to throw for 250 yards.
Yeah, I think the way Goff's playing right now, I got to go with Goff. He's coming off a huge game. Massive game. I think he had confidence. The confidence is going to kind of travel into next week. I know it's outdoors, and I don't think he has the same production as last week, but I think he has more yards. I could see Caleb. He'll be running around. He'll have some scrambles. I think it'll be close. I think Goff could end the game easily with like 300 passing yards, like 280, 300. I think Caleb can end with like 280 combined. It'll be close, but I'm going to go with Goff here as well. So I'm agreeing with you on that one.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't
to the other side on that. There we go.
Yeah, I'm with you. You can't deny the way Goff's playing right now, dude. He's balling. He is absolutely balling. All right, next one we have more yards all-purpose.
This one feels disrespectful.
DeAndre Swift or Jahmyr Gibbs?
This feels disrespectful. Don't ever bring Jeff. I'll tell you what. Don't ever bring this question across my computer ever again or across my desk, please. There will never be a week where DeAndre Swift has more all-purpose yards than Jahmyr Gibbs when they go head-to-head. There will never be a week. Never. Give me Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs will double his yards. How about that? You like that one?
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. He's coming off 89. Yeah, I mean, he's had games. He's about at 70 to 80 a week guy, and Jahmyr is going to have more than that. So I'm with you. I'm going to go Sonic. Last time they played, actually, DeAndre Swift against the Lions, he got him more in the passing game than they did in the run game. So he's still going to be able to weapon out the backfield. But yeah, I'm going to go with Gibbs as well. More receiving yards. Amon-Ra St. Brown or DJ Moore? DJ Moore against the Lions had almost 100 yards.
Not worried. Amon-Ra St. Not worried. I hate this because the reason I hate doing this or that right now for this game.
You think it's just
I think it's just going to be Lions all across the board. And like the Lions don't even have to go that crazy on offense. I'm just like, I know the Lions defense is beat up, so I guess you can use that argument.
Yeah. I
just think like I'm in full belief right now, Jeff, and maybe I'm crazy that Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta, and Amon-Ra St. Brown are going to go over on their lines the rest of the season. And I know that sounds crazy. I just think they're at that point to where it's like this offense has to step up. Saints about to, like we saw what he did last week. He's chasing the all-pro again. He needs, like the Lions need him to put numbers up. I think St. Brown has another 100-yard game this week. On a 100-yard game this week. So, 80 to 100, I'll say that. 80 to 100.
You know what's crazy though, and I'm just saying that Amon-Ra's only had one game against the Bears with 100 yards.
Not worried. At least he had one, so he's done it.
So the last 3 games, he's had 73 yards. He just had at Thanksgiving, 21 yards, 77, and 62. DJ Moore, his last 5 against the Lions, 97, 68, 96. I'm gonna go with DJ Moore because I think he's gonna be force fed a little bit. They'll be playing from behind. Like I think he's gonna be forcing the ball to DJ Moore a little bit. And I think the Lions offense will be spreading it around a little more. Like I can see a scenario where like Amon-Ra's like 6 for 80 or like 5 for 70, and DJ's got like 6 for 90 or whatever with like 12 targets. Like he'll have a ton of targets, I think. So I'm gonna go DJ Moore here just because they'll be playing for me.
Clip that.
More tackles in this game. TJ Edwards. Bears linebacker who has like 110 tackles on the season, or Jack Campbell, who actually, what does he have on the year? Jack on the year has 60 solo, but what does he have total? 109. So he's not too far behind. But TJ Edwards has him in the tackle department. Who has more tackles on Sunday? TJ Edwards or Jack Campbell?
Jeff, man. What did TJ Edwards have the last couple weeks? That's what I'm going to look at real quick. Because Jack Campbell, Jeff, with the way this defense has been, Jack has been just dominating. I took him in the parlay last week. Yeah, like TJ Edwards, 8 last week, 10 the week before, 6 before, 9 before, 6. He's had double digits twice this year, or 3 times, and Jack Campbell 3 times. Give me Jack Campbell. Give me Jack Campbell. He had 3 versus the Bears last time. I think it's kind of this thing gets amped up a little bit. I think Jack Campbell right now is on a tear. He had 8 or 9 2 weeks ago. He had 11 this last week versus the Bills. I think now with the injuries as well, no Carlton, no Aleem. I know it's like, well, Booner, how does that affect them? I think it's a time where it's like Jack's going to have to be in more situations, especially flying around the run game. Like someone's got to step up in the run game. Guess who that can be? Jack Campbell stopping the run, meeting guys at the line of scrimmage. So give me Jack Campbell this week.
Yeah, you're going to need more out of him. So I mean, he's going to be one of the guys making tackles out there. So
yeah,
I'm going to go.
Need him.
I'm going to go. I'm going to go with Jack as well on that. So I'm not going to push back. It'll be close. Like TJ.
See, this is a problem, Jeff.
What?
I'm 4 for 4 picking Lions players.
You just think they just dominate everything. Well, here's the next thing. More turnovers. Chicago Bears or Detroit Lions?
Lions bounce back. Finally start getting some turnovers versus Caleb Williams.
All
Defensive line. Hey, Levi O, Josh Pascal, DJ Reader, Zadarius, Mohammed. They all get to Caleb Williams, and guess what they're going to do? He's going to have, oh no. Lots of pressure, Jeff. Lots of pressure. And you know what I'm going to see this week? And I'm going to call it out right now. DeAndre Swift fumble. Lions recover. Watch it. It will happen.
I like that.
A DeAndre Swift fumble.
I like that. I'm going to go with
maybe Jack.
I'm going to go with the Bears as well because I think they play from behind. He's going to get a little more desperate. Caleb hasn't had a turnover in like a handful of weeks. I think he's about due for one. So I'm going to go with the Bears to have more turnovers.
Lions are due, man. They're due to get some turnovers.
Yeah, and they're due to get some as well.
They're due.
Last one, more sacks. Detroit Lions or Chicago Bears?
Oh, more sacks. I'm sticking with it. I'm going 6 for 6 here. Give me the Lions. I wanted to go the Bears, but all I can think about is just Caleb Williams like about to get hit and falling in the backfield like multiple times. Have you ever seen him play and him do? Like I've seen him play a lot this year. There's a lot of times where he just like he's about to get hit and he gets in that fetal position. He's like that. That's gonna be him a couple times.
Yeah. I'll go Lions have more sacks. I'm gonna go Lions have more sacks. Because DJ had like 2 against them last time, right? And then Zadarius had 1.5. So they could take over this game and get like 4 or 5 sacks between like 3 players.
I think this might be that week. I do. I know. I feel like I've said it a million times. I do think this might be that week to where they go out there and do that.
There you go. That's this with that Booner confident. All Lions.
I hate it. I hate it, but I love it.
It's just, that's just where we are now. No problem at all with it. I really don't. We got our NFL pick'em, which I got the records here. And you sent me, I didn't know, Boone, before you sent me it.
You had a good week.
That I had a good week. I was hyped. I don't check. I wait till you send me the records. I just trust you. Hey, Boone will send me it. I'm going to see what it is, and we're going to deal with it. And I saw, I had the best week out of the fellas last week. I'm crawling. And Klotzy trying to get all smart and say, I'm gonna try and make a play. Didn't work out for him. So Klotzy has officially fell to last place.
Oh my gosh.
So by percentage, Caleb he rises to 4th. I'm above 500. Okay. Oh wait, hold on.
Hold on. Don't say anything.
Okay. So I officially am above 500, 48, 45. Michael Gentry, 49 and 37. And then Boone, of course, still holding on. He's in first place, 53 and 40. Boone, last week, he had a 6-5 week. Gentry, 7-4. I was the best at 8-3. Caleb and Lukas under 500 this past week. Caleb 5-6. Lukas 3 of 8. So, hey.
This is where I'm at. Like I'm holding on. I did the percentages with me and Mike, and I'm literally beating him by 0.1%. Like it's like right there. The problem with that is we pick back and forth, and Mike Uncle's picking the same picks as me, and it's hard for me to separate over here. You know, it's hard. So hopefully this week I could try and separate. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I don't know what his picks are. I'm just hoping maybe we get. I'm trying to create some separation here. I need to. We have 3 weeks left and then the playoffs. I really need to I need to separate. I need to separate myself. It's close. It's a close match. I kind of like this battle at the bottom with Klotz and Caleb.
Yeah,
Klotz just went 2-8, or I don't know, but that is where it's like, oh no, like he.
Yeah, I'll do this. Because here, and I think what's important, Boone, is that you don't let me get close to you, okay? Because we'll see how this goes over the next 3 weeks here. Are we doing playoffs too or not?
Yeah, we are for sure. Okay. Yes,
we're letting it kind of ride throughout the playoffs. But we have a special message here, and it's from a man who has climbed and scratched and clawed from the bottom. And
I don't even know what's going on.
And it's Caleb Zarnik. He has a message that he wants to send to the fellas.
Sending it from the dead.
Yeah, I have the message from Caleb, and it's this.
What's going on, boys? Sorry I couldn't make it on the show today. I'm in Antarctica. It feels like outside. It's negative 70 degrees with 5 inches of snow. But that's actually just the great state of Michigan. I want to say this. I want to congratulate Jeff on the great week. 8-3. At this point of the season, we're really going to figure out what these teams are made of. And Jeff, you proved you're going to be a problem here down the stretch for the top of the leaderboard. Unk, another good week, 7-4. I'm really rooting for you. You're getting close to the top of the standings. I think that 6-5 week out of Boone, it might not be enough. He might lose that first round bye if you jump him here. Klotz, what the fuck are we doing? Were you drunk when you picked those picks? 3-8. Klotz, I was there once. 3-8. It sucks. But at this point of the season, down the stretch, you lay an egg. That's not good. Because I jumped you in the standings just like that. Boom. It took 1 week. Granted, I went 5-6, not the greatest week we've ever seen in the world, but it got the job done. Like Jeff's boyfriend Drizzy Drake once said, started from the bottom, now we're here, and I am now one step above the bottom, and it feels pretty damn good. A lot of work to do here. Klotz, if you were tanking and want that first overall pick, just tell us, because 3-8 at this point of the season, I mean, God, the fans are calling for your job. It's a mess there. The culture's not there. Just bad week. 3-8. That's bad. But yeah, Merry Christmas, everyone. Go Lions, and stay safe out there. There's a lot of snow and such. Stay safe.
There's a lot of snow.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yeah, he message from Caleb on kind of where controversial. He jumps Lukas. Lukas is now maybe officially in tank mode. That's the rumor. Taking a stray at me.
Crazy, huh?
That was a hell of a video from Caleb. Yeah. Hell of a video from the man. Yeah, he is officially not in last place. I think he was in last place for like a lot of the season. I think he's been battling for like you call him a cockroach. It kind of aged well. I mean, he won't go away.
Yeah, I was trying to give him a compliment. He took it in a bad way, but no, that's like I know he won't go away. No, and Klotz, dude, what did he go last week? What was it?
3-8.
That's tough. That's a tough look. As the ball knower,
I can't. I had a 1-8 week. I had a 1-8 week 1 week. That was bad.
As the ball knower on the show, 3-8's a tough look.
Yeah,
tough look. Dead last in the standings. I mean, that means you might not know a lot about the NFL if you're dead last in the standings.
It's tough. Yeah.
I'm not saying it. Just the people are. That's all.
Yeah,
Caleb
that's what
is.
people are saying. Yeah.
Caleb's the one saying that, not me.
All right, let's get into it.
I'm ready. I'm writing some down here. I'm trying to get some notes here to make sure I'm locked in on these games because this is a big week. I feel like this is a big week.
Yeah, this could. I mean, depending on the standings. I mean, look, if I go. I mean, I could jump if Mike has a bad week and I have a good week. I can jump to second place this week. So this could go a lot of.
You could end up being in first place by the end of the week. To be honest, that's not like out of the picture.
Oh yeah, I guess if you don't win it, if you go like 1-7 or something like that.
Yeah, like I could easily have a bad week and you make that move.
All right, first game we got, Boone. Texans. This could be a good game actually. Texans at Chiefs. Chiefs minus 3.5 at home. Who do you got?
I'm going the Houston Texans. I went with the Chiefs, or I went against the Chiefs last week because I said, hey, teams keep it close, and they didn't. They covered by a lot versus who did I don't even know who did they play last week. The Steelers.
Who?
The Chiefs.
The Browns.
The Browns. Okay, yeah, and they beat them like 21-7, whatever it was. I thought the Browns would cover. This week, Texans, 4 straight wins, Jeff Iafrate. They're going to keep it close. This is going to be a field goal game. Give me the Texans plus 3.5. I like that.
So this one's tough because I think Patrick Mahomes is playing. So that's the big one. But I'm gonna go at home. This is a tough one here. Yeah, this is a really tough game. I hate 3.5. I just hate that number. I just hate that number so much. Yeah, give me the Texans. I'm gonna go with you on that one. I think that's a smart play.
I think it's the right play.
With that number, it's a weird number. If it was minus 2.5, I'd probably go Chiefs. But 3.5.
Every Chiefs games besides this last one has been like a 3-point game or more, and they just find a way to do it. It's been like they're just winning games with field goals. So if they're winning games with field goals, like last second field goals, that's 1 or 2 points right there, or a tie game, 3 points. So I'll take the Texans all day with that. To be honest.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Steelers at Ravens. Ravens minus 6.5.
That's a big line, don't you think, for that game? Or am I crazy?
Apparently, there's no George Pickens in that game. And
either way,
it's still I don't know. George Pickens can move a line like that. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, either way, dude, that's a
big number. The Steelers coming off, I mean, a big game.
I'm gonna take the Steelers 6.5. Like they just lost a big game, and guys. And this is the thing with the Steelers. I think if they win this game, I don't know if they clinch the division, but they're like right there in the division, like to win it. And I think this is like one of those games where you just give the Ravens another loss and you have that win. If someone knows if they clinch it, I'm not 100% sure on the clinching things throughout the NFL this week. I haven't looked at that yet. But I'll take the Steelers plus 6.5, and I'll sprinkle, to be honest, a little money line on that game.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that's just too big of a number. I like the Ravens obviously win the game, but man, 6.5 is a big number.
It's at 7 now. Let's take 7. It's at 7.
Okay, we'll go 7 then. I'm with
you. Just move to 7. 7's a great number to get.
Then yeah, give me the Steelers. I don't think Mike Tomlin back to back they get blown out. I don't see, or not blown out, excuse me, but lose in that fashion. No, not by a touchdown. So I'll go Steelers with you. I'm with you there. All right, next game we got Cardinals minus 4.5 at Panthers. Ugh.
There was a moment with the Panthers that a lot of you guys, I'll say this, Klotz, Klotz, Caleb, who were like, oh, Panthers for the last few weeks. Oh, they're starting to play good. They're a problem. And I said, no, give me the Cowboys. I don't care about the Panthers.
Good play. Yeah,
they've lost 4 straight games, and their last 2 losses have been by like almost double digits. Cardinals are trying to look to stay in this playoff race. Give me the Cardinals minus 4.5. I don't care if it's on the road, home. I don't care where this game's at. The Cardinals are going to win this game by a touchdown.
All right. I'm going to agree with you. So Cardinals are going to cover. I just don't. I'm not picking the Panthers to cover anything right now.
Ever.
So yeah, I'm going to go with the Cardinals too. Next game, Eagles minus 3.5 at Commanders.
Eagles -3 at the Commanders. You already know.
Why with the number? Like the -3.5.
Yeah.
Number.
I like the 3. I'm taking the 3 with the Commanders. I think, and I gave it out yesterday. We were going to do Booner bets tonight. I'm canceling Booner bets. One bet I have for this weekend. It's the only bet that people need to know. Lions money line. The Commanders money line. Seahawks money line. That's it. That's all I'm focused on this weekend. I'm putting my Lions bets out there, Jeff Iafrate, and the only bet outside of the Detroit Lions I'm betting on is that plus 676 play. Give me the Washington Commanders plus 3.5 today, and give me the Washington Commanders money line, little sprinkle. And sorry, Tyler Chevet, there are certain weeks, there are certain times in your life where you have to step up and you have to lead. I am leading. The only thing that matters this weekend are those 3 plays. That's it. I'm not putting energy towards anything else when it comes to player props, this, that. Jeff's going to probably text me Sunday, hey, who's going to score touchdowns today? Nope. Not doing it.
Yeah.
Not wasting all of my energy is going to Lions money line, Seahawks money line, Commanders money line. That's it. Bottom line.
Yeah, locked in.
Locked in.
I'm sorry, Boone.
Don't do it. You told me yesterday you liked it.
I like it because it's close. It's like you could pick. The more I really sat to think about it, Commanders might have some offensive linemen out. It's tough, man. Yeah, I know.
Oh, you can't, dude. You've been hot. You can't. We need you here. We need you here. We need all hands on deck. If I asked for anything, this is the one.
You're asking me to change my pick. I gotta pick for a record. Okay?
No, Jeff. Though, like with all due respect, I need you on this one. The chat will turn on you if you don't pick.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Jeff.
Give me
I'm asking you as a favor, as a friend here. I don't pull out a favor card a lot.
Dude,
this is the favor card. This is the favor card.
You're just doing that. You're at first place, buddy.
I do not care about anything with the records right now. This game, Jeff, all due respect, I am asking for a favor from a friend. I would like for you to join on the Commanders.
Boone.
You're hot right now. You're 8-2 or 8-3. We need you. We need you. I'm begging you. Jeff, if they win, this is going to be a bad look on you if they end up losing the game because you picked them. You win against them.
To be honest, it's kind of a win-win because if the Eagles win, I get a
not for you. For you, it is not for the people.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, fuck. I got to take the Eagles though. I got it.
No,
I got to take the Eagles. I'm going there.
Yeah, just L's in the chat for this, man.
I'm looking out. My franchise, we need gritty wins. This is we need wins. Okay. I know I'm not going to be liked. I get it. It's an L. L Jeff. Spam it. L Jeff.
This isn't even a joke, man. At this point, this is a serious.
Maybe I jinx it though.
No, dude, you're 8. You were 8-3 last week. We need if anyone. We needed anyone. We needed you.
This is tough. I hate doing this. I got to win some games here. It's L.
This is a bad look. I'll say this is a really bad look for you.
Tough look. It's tough.
This is not a good look for you, man.
All right. Next game we got Titans at Colts. Colts -3.5. Oh my gosh, this game sucks too. -3.5. I mean, this is like how many lines are 3.5, dude? Oh my gosh.
This is one where I'm just going to take the home favorite because I don't know what to think about the Titans. Like they just benched Will Levis. I don't even know who their backup is, to be honest.
Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, give me the Colts -3.5 at home in Indy. Give me the Colts. There's really nothing behind. There's no magic behind that one besides just take the team with the better quarterback.
Is Jonathan Taylor's playing, right?
I think so. Yeah, so he's on one of my fantasy teams. Which, by the way, for the fantasy team with all of the money, there's a chance it's just me and you in the finals for how much is it worth? $400 to the winner.
Is it really?
Yeah. It's $400 to the winner, 100 to second place.
That's still a W. If you get it, that's fine. Hey,
I mean, dude, if that's why if I get into the championship, like you get into the championship, you're guaranteed minimum $100 if you lose the championship, and if you win it, you get 400. And I've already won $50 in our league, for highest point score. So if I get to the championship minimum this year, I'm making 150.
All right.
And if I win the championship, I did easy as the commissioner. I said, hey, he has gone through a lot as the commissioner because this league is tough to deal with. I will give him half of his entry buy-in. I'm going to give it back to him.
That's a very nice gesture.
But hey, it could be me and you, two crunch time guys, sitting there in the championship potentially.
That's big.
Make sure you did you set your lineup this week? Yesterday? $100 on the line?
I'll check it.
It's really 150 because if you don't make it in, you have to pay 50 for the entry fee.
All right, I gotta check.
So it's like this is like big.
Yeah, it's been a tough week. All right, I gotta check.
If you lose, you're minus 50. If you win, you're up 100.
So for me in this game, Brian Callahan saying we're tough as fuck. You know the players, man, they fight their asses off. I'm like I want to take the Titans, but I really don't. So I'm gonna stay. I'm with you. I'm gonna go Colts at home. I'm gonna take the home favorite. So, lock me in for that. Next one, Rams -3 at the Jets, taking on the New York Jets. Rams -3.
Yeah, I mean, I know the Jets are at home. I just can never find myself betting on this Jet. We did last week actually, and they won. But the Rams are playing really good football right now, and they're in a spot to win their division or have a chance at it, and then obviously to go make the playoffs. Where the Jets. They're essentially out of it. Like, I don't know if they're officially eliminated, but they're basically done. So give me the Rams. The Rams are actually playing for something here. Aaron Rodgers and them are just playing just to like show like, hey, we're actually not that bad this year. Give me the Rams. I don't care if it's -3. I don't care what the line is. I'll take the Rams. It's -3. So if they win by 3, it's a push, which I will take that.
Yeah, give me the Rams.
You're taking the Rams as well.
Yeah,
doesn't that feel like the right play?
Yeah, it does. It's like the Jets are a wild card. Like it's just like, what team are you getting? Like I don't know. But you're right though. If they win by 3, it's a push anyway. So whatever. Give me the Rams. I'm locking that in. Patriots at Bills. Bills -14.5.
I bet you guys thought I was going to take the Bills in this one. I will not do that. Give me the double-digit dog. The Patriots. I don't think the Patriots, and you know what? Let me go look at this real quick. Jeff, I don't think the Patriots have lost by more than 14 over the last few weeks. I know they haven't played the Bills, but typically there's the Detroit Lions. Yeah, well, typically there's the Detroit Lions like flu or what is it called? When the Lions you play the Lions after whether you win or lose. Typically, we just play so tough to where teams are a little out of it. I don't think the Bills are going to lose, but like if you look at Arizona last week versus the Patriots, they lost by 13. The week before, Colts, they lost by 1. The week before, they lost by 19. That's a big one. But versus the Rams, they only lost by 5 or 6. So like I do think there's like a world where they're gonna play each other 2 of the last 3 weeks here, and I think the Patriots are gonna try and they're gonna try and get something here, put together some sort of game plan. I'm taking the Patriots +14.5. It's a big line, man.
Is it crazy? Like I can see him like covering the line though, like 14.5.
It could easily happen with the Bills. I just so big, man. Like a last minute touchdown or last minute field goal could get you out of that one. It's a big line.
It's supposed to be crappy weather in Buffalo too. I'm pretty sure, right?
That's good then. I mean, that's low scoring.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's supposed to be like 20 degrees.
Patriots are used to it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go. Patriots are used to it. It's like a gritty franchise, gritty team. Yeah, it's gonna be terrible. I mean, terrible wins. This is like a type of game where, when it's in this type of condition, dude. Bills have shown they can score points in this type of weather. I mean, they've shown they can score points, and I know that the line's tough. Oh, I hate this. This is where I got to make a play. I got to make a play. Give me the Bills. Give me the Bills.
Really?
Yeah, I'm making a play.
Wow. I hate that because it's like against the team that I also like.
Yeah, I hate it, but
have rooted for.
This could be the swing, Boone. This could be the swing. All right. Next one, Vikings -3 at Seahawks.
I'm taking the Seahawks. And you know what, Jeff? I would appreciate if you took the Seahawks too. We need the Seahawks money line to win this game.
This one, I'm with you.
Give me +3. +3. I'll take the Seahawks. Let me see if that line moved to 3.5. No, it's still 3.
Yeah, lock me in. I'm with you. I'm gonna go. I'm going Seahawks too. Getting guys back.
Yep.
They're gonna be ready. I don't know if I don't think they'll lose back-to-back home games. So
I think they win this game outright.
yeah. So I'm with you. I'm gonna go Seahawks in this game too. Next game, 49ers at Dolphins. Dolphins -1.5.
Do you know what to do in this game, Jeff? Does this feel like a weird game for you?
Oh, it's a weird ass game. Yeah.
I don't know who to pick here. I wrote down the Jets, or not the Jets, the Dolphins, just because it's at home. And
healthier team too.
Yeah, and I don't know these games.
I'm gonna go Dolphins in this one because
I want to see if the spread's moved at all to see if there's like a side to go on here.
I'm gonna go Dolphins, even though it sounds like it could go either way. I get that. Even with the injuries, they're on like their 5th string running back, and they don't have Trent Williams. So it's like,
yeah, I wrote down the Dolphins -1.5. I'll stick with it.
Yeah,
49ers lost last week. I think more guys are even injured going into this week, so they just like are on a. I think the 49ers have given up. To be honest, I think they're like kind of like, hey, this season's done. Let's wrap it up. Let's get to next year. Good for the Lions, but by the way, did you pick the Cardinals too, Jeff?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, I'm sorry, I was over here. I picked
the Cardinals. I'm with you, -4.5.
Eagle, and you took Eagle. Sorry, my bad if I was off a little bit here. I kind of messed up the. Just trying to.
Oh, some of these other games, my gosh, like the Jags. Jags at Raiders. Raiders -1.5.
I'm taking the Jags. Just give me Mac Jones. I don't trust the Raiders whatsoever. I'm taking Jags +1.5.
Yeah, I don't like this at all. I'm gonna go Jags too. I don't even like that. It's just a weird. Yeah, I'm with you. Give me
right. I don't know why the Jags would be underdogs here.
They're barely. I mean, barely because they're the home team, so they're giving the Raiders like a 1.5. But
I feel like they have a better overall team, though. I don't. Maybe that's just me, but.
And I think Max Crosby's getting in surgery.
He's out for the year. Yeah, he's already got surgery. He's done.
Give me the Jags. Last game, Buccaneers -3.5 at Dallas.
Bucks.
Yeah, Bucks.
I don't know why. I don't know. This should be a 6-point spread. There's no reason this is a 3-point spread. The Bucks, dude, have been playing very good football. The Bucks look really good right now. Like that, like they look really good. Like both sides of the ball, everything that the Bucks are doing is very, very good. And the Cowboys have proven nothing. They're nothing. Mike, like these guys do not want to play football right now. They're another team that's packed it up for the year. I don't know why it's 3.5. Maybe because it's in Jerry's world, but Bucks win this game by a touchdown. I might alternate spread this and do like 6.5 come Sunday. Actually, no, I'm not betting any other game Sunday besides 3. So, but if I was to, I would -6.5, Jeff.
All right, so that's the pick'em, and then we'll get the line score predictions. I'm confident. I like what we did there.
You do?
I like
genuinely.
I went against you on a couple, but I got to make a play. I can't tail everything of yours because if you have a bad week, I got a bad week. So I
feel like, and I don't know what Mike's picks are. I feel like me and him might have pretty similar ones because this feels like a pretty chalk week. Like unless you're like you or like Klotz probably has to, and Caleb, like you guys have to make some plays over the next few weeks to kind of catch up. I feel like this could be a really chalk week just to be able to look at it and be like, yep, okay, these teams.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Mike went. He went Commanders too. So I think I think Lukas did too. So I might be the only one who went Eagles. I don't know. I mean, fuck the Eagles. I'd rather take the loss and pick them. I mean, I really don't care. But we'll see how that ages. All right, line score predictions. Talk about that spread -6.5.
Take it.
They're going to cover it.
Alternate -13.5. Take it by 2 touchdowns. Do you want me to give mine right now before we do mailbag or we get into it?
Yeah, go ahead. Go give yours. I'll give mine.
Lions. I think Jeff. I think this is simple. And people might think Booner Lions are going to score more than what you're giving out. I just think in the cold, Lions are going to get the job done. One goal I have for this Detroit Lions is to hold the Chicago Bears under 20. And I think they do it. Give me the Detroit Lions 31, right back on track, scoring, not on back on track, scored 40 last week, but 31, back on track in the defensive column. Chicago Bears 17. 31-17 is my score prediction here for the Lions. Win by 2 touchdowns. And I think the 17 comes in the fourth quarter.
I got 34-17. I mean, Tyler, I literally said it. I wrote it down. I wrote it down and he said it. So maybe great minds think alike, Tyler. 34.
We're all on a very similar page here.
Yeah, I think that you said earlier, I think the Bears score under 20. I actually was like, I have it written down. So I agree with that take. I don't think they clear 20. So yeah, 34-17. Give me the Lions to win this game. And
love
take
that.
I
love it. That I mean, they're winning by 2 touchdowns here. I'm pretty confident.
Yeah, I think Caleb has a pick and a fumble, man. Like, I think he's gonna struggle a little bit here. All right. By the way, Ray Coker says Craig Reynolds is plus 350 anytime touchdown score.
Don't hate that. Craig had a touchdown last year. Do you remember in the playoffs he scored a touchdown and it was just like random, like a 1-yard touchdown in the playoffs? I don't even know why he got the touch or why, but they just
never know.
Randomly, they were like, "Hey, Craig."
Never know. They might give him the rock, short yardage. But yeah, Mike Reese is 42-12 Lions. What 12 is a lot, all field goals? Oh, you mute yourself?
On me.
Oh, you're good.
42-12 is a big one.
Yeah, it's all field goals. Wow.
Or 6 missed extra point, 2 field goals.
Yeah.
Go for 2. They have to go for 2. Mix the 2-point conversion.
Hey, I like
it. Mike said, "Yep."
He stood on business. Said, "Yeah, hell yeah, Jeff." I said that. No touchdowns.
Give me all the field goals.
Yeah, give you all the field goals. What's going on, Pennywise? Appreciate you tuning in, my man. How's that Indiana game going, by the way? I don't have it on.
I think it's halftime. I think it's 17-3.
Oh my God, Indiana!
I have the over, and then after the first possession, and this is typical, Jeff. You've watched a lot of football with me, and know how I kind of bet and go about games.
You always take it halftime when you get the spread on it.
Yes, but Indiana first possession got an interception on Notre Dame, and I was like, "Oh my gosh! Like they're gonna have this is gonna be a good game." And I was like, "If Indiana is still plus money, I'm taking the money line." And then I took a money line, and that next possession they threw an interception, and then Notre Dame went up like 14-0. And I was just like, that was just like my mind working, thinking I'm like smarter than the books. And
yeah. Hey, you told me Vegas doesn't always know. Hey,
no, they don't.
They don't always know. You can beat Vegas. You've proven it.
I've tried.
You should have waited till that pick then to go on the money line.
Yes. And now it's like it's done. I have one guy to score a touchdown. I have the over 50.5, and then I have Indiana money line. So I've put myself in a bit of a pretzel over here. And I was 0-2 to start the day. The first 2, I took some reason. You know why? I took Tulane plus 10 versus Florida today, and I don't even think they scored. I watched the game; it was brutal. Mekhi Hughes, my Heisman winner on college football.
Coach Boone, yeah.
Nothing, dude. That was an emotional pick.
That was an emotional pick. Yeah.
It really was, man.
Pick with your heart.
That was where I used to coach, so I was like, I have to do it.
Yeah. That series, legendary series.
It's coming back. It'll be back too. I'm excited.
Ray Coker says, I'm feeling like 30-20. I think it's a statement game for us, but the Bears always seem to match up well against us. We cover, but Bears make it a game.
Wow.
I'm not mad at you, Ray. The thing we agree on, Ray, we have a 3-point. I mean, it's what I have 34-17. You have 30-20. It's not that big of a difference. We all agree. I think it's pretty consensus. I haven't seen any different. Lions scoring 30. That's what's happening.
They should. I mean, even in the cold, I think you need to go out there. I think there's 2 things you need to do this game. One, offensively prove you're going to be good without D-Mont until he comes back. And I think you have to show like, hey, our run game's still good. That offensive line needs to step up. So I think they need to prove that. And then 2, I think defensively you have to prove you can hold them to 20 points or under. I think you need to.
I mean, that's fair. I agree with that. Yeah, hey, shout out to Eli, by the way, for joining the show. It was a great show today. Appreciate you all. Honestly.
We do have.
Go ahead. No, tell
we have to our plans for next week, so people know. So we're going to be somewhere for Sunday for the Lions game. We'll announce that in the next 24, 48 hours. I'll say this with Christmas. Obviously, Crunch Time will not have a show Wednesday for Christmas. We will still have a show Monday, and we'll still have a show Tuesday. Instead of going 8 to 10 p.m. Monday and Tuesday, we're going to go 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. So 10 to noon Monday and 10 to noon Tuesday. Tuesday, we're trying to get it done as early as we can because of Christmas Eve. A lot of people, we want people to be able to enjoy that. And if we're going to do the same time on Tuesday, we're like, let's just do it Monday as well. And then Thursday, we'll get back to like our normal scheduled time and back on track for the Lions the next week. But I think that's perfect. I think 10 a.m. we really haven't done in the morning yet, but 10 a.m. on Tuesday or Monday and Tuesday. So no 8 p.m. show Monday, Tuesday, people. 10 a.m.
Yep.
If you're all 80 people watching right now, everyone should be there at 10 a.m. on Monday and 10 a.m. on Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll be live in the morning. And Pennywise says y'all should have one guest on per week to come on the show. Fans of the show, of course. Like a Fan Friday, have some rave. I mean, with my experience, people are more comfortable calling than going on.
I think calling would be we could figure out calling. A video would be a little.
It's if you got the cojones, I don't mind welcoming like a member, or a viewer to come on. We'll see how that. If you guys like it, let us know. We'll figure it out. Comment down below. But appreciate you all. Get your merchandise. Official CT Sports. Appreciate the support as always. We're almost at 11,300. So we're climbing steadily thanks to you all. So we will see you Sunday. Sunday we will be live. Remember, Sunday we will be live. Until then, you guys have a great weekend. Happy holidays. We'll catch you.
Peace.